Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we've got the Bahrain Grand Prix, first race of 2022, and I cannot wait. I mean, it's so exciting. We've got Verstappen versus Leclerc right at the start of the grid, and then there's so much more further down the field as well to look forward to. I cannot wait. There's quite a lot to cover, so let's get started. Um, so we need to talk about the pit strategy first. And today it is confirmed 100% going to be a two-stop race. So two-stop race expected. I'm just going to read out the little strategy thing that Pirelli has provided. Everyone that's tuning in, thank you so much. If you haven't hit the like button, be sure to do so. And let's get this stream underway. All right, so all of the strategies include starting the race on the soft tires, and this year that they changed the rules, so you don't have to you don't have to start the race on the tire that you qualified on. So I'm pretty sure most of the teams, nearly all of the teams, will be starting on the soft tires. So the first strategy, which is the quickest strategy, will be soft tires, then medium tires, and then soft tires. Second strategy is soft, then hard, then medium, if you are getting a little bit more tire wear. And then the third strategy is soft, then hard, then medium. We'll see which strategy actually turns out, but I think most teams will be going for the soft, medium, soft. And maybe some teams suffering from high tire wear, like maybe the Red Bulls, they might go to soft, hard, soft. We'll have to wait and see, but yeah, let's find out. Also, we have the race simulation data from Friday practice. So in the quickest race simulation team was Red Bull. The second was Ferrari, 3/10 behind them, and then the third fastest team in the race sims were Mercedes, 5/10 behind them. So we could definitely see a battle between Leclerc and Verstappen, because of the fact that Verstappen's behind Leclerc, and Verstappen technically has quicker race pace according to the data gathered on Friday. The race is starting in 27 minutes. All of the drivers are on the grid, as you can see on the map. They're all there, ready to go, basically, ready for the race to begin. And there's lots to get through. So let's see, what else is there to talk about? Also, another very interesting stat that Wade Coppage pointed out to me on Twitter. If you guys haven't followed me on Twitter yet, I'm at F1_gamer_5. So be sure to go check me out on there. But point being is that there's no two teams. I mean, sorry, no two drivers starting next to each other that are on the same team. So all of the rule changes have like changed everything, because if you remember in the past, it was pretty, like in 2018, 2019, it was pretty clear, like Mercedes, then Ferrari, then Red Bull, and now we've changed that now, and there's no two drivers from the same team starting alongside each other, which is very interesting. And I think that's just what the new regulations have done. They've changed everything up. All the drivers have to adapt. All the teams have to adapt, and this is just going to make the race a whole lot more exciting. All right, the race starts in 26 minutes. It says at the top right of the stream, and yeah, I'm looking forward to it, really. There is also, well, yesterday we had qualifying. Hamilton and Bottas starting on the same row of the grid. Both of them are in third place, third row of the grid. Sorry, in fifth and sixth. As far as I can remember, I think the left side of the grid is pole position, and the right side of the grid is the even numbers. So Leclerc and Sainz will have a more grippier side of the grid for like the race start, which we'll talk about later, because the race start's going to be one of the most critical things. And we've also got Kevin Magnussen in 7th place. Now, yesterday, if you guys remember, Kevin Magnussen had a hydraulic leak in qualifying, and they had to fix all the hydraulics, which they did in time. And then Magnussen went out for another lap in Q3, but the thing was, his Q3 lap was slower than his Q2 lap. So if Magnussen had repeated his Q2 lap again, then he would have put himself up in 5th place, I think, looking at the timing sheet. So Haas could have been in 5th place if Magnussen had slightly just improved, or just kept his Q2 time. So that was a solid job there from Haas. And that just goes to show you how good the Ferrari PU is. Alfa Romeo and Haas, both of the experienced drivers in those teams, Bottas and Magnussen, both of them 6th and 7th, and both of them having the chance to maybe go a slight bit higher as well. So that Ferrari PU is really paying off. And if you do want to check out like an article about the Ferrari PU, Planet F1 has got you covered. They are partnering with me, but they are not paying me anything or anything. So yeah, do go check out that article though about the Ferrari PU. It's pretty interesting. All right, what else is there to go through? So also, guys, let me know who your predictions are for the for the top 3 on the podium today. Someone asked in the chat, why are McLaren so slow? It's because they've got brake issues. They've got like some overheating brakes. I'm not exactly sure what it is, but they've got a temporary fix for the brakes. But they haven't got like a long-term fix. So it's kind of just like they've just bolted it on and it works for now, but it's not very efficient. It's not very fast. And that's why they're so far down. And I think that's why Daniel Ricciardo is struggling, because we know Daniel Ricciardo is really good on the brakes. So if there's an issue with the brakes and the braking system, then that's not going to go in his favor. It's not going to help him out really. So that's why I think Daniel Ricciardo is in 18th place, but he's also been struggling of late. Last year as well, getting beat by Norris. It was his first year at McLaren, but nevertheless, he's still not doing an amazing job. We'll have to wait and see how that plays out and how he goes on to improve, or if he doesn't, for the rest of the season. Also, we got to talk about George Russell. So yesterday, if you guys were here on the stream when it did get copyrighted, I just want to point out what happened was I played the F1 theme song at the start of the stream, and then the YouTube algorithm, well, the YouTube system or whatever, caught up and realized I played the F1 theme song, and apparently it's copyrighted, so I got taken down, which is completely my fault. There's no like the data's completely fine, so there's no need to worry about getting copyrighted again. I just don't need to play the F1's theme song. Pretty obvious. So there's that. Hello, Gamer Fabsny King, Velocity, Charleston Low, Yano Trulli, Alex Firefly. Thank you so much for tuning in, guys. We've got 400 people watching, and we've like how many minutes away from the race start? We're still 22 minutes away from the race start. So thank you very much for tuning in. And I cannot wait to get this race underway. So another thing that we've got to talk about is the battle at the front. We've got Leclerc, then Verstappen, then Sainz, then Perez. Now, we know that Leclerc and Sainz pretty closely matched in terms of pace. And then we know that Verstappen and Perez are not closely matched in pace. We know that Verstappen's are much quicker than Sergio Perez. Hello, Multi Ninja as well. Nice to see that you're back. I'm doing all right. I hope you guys are doing all right as well. Yeah, Tanish, I do remember. I remember quite a lot of you, in fact. So thank you everyone for tuning back in. Well, talking about the top 4, the thing is, if it goes to a strategy battle, because since we've got two teams at the top, there's probably, and a 2 pit stop race, it's pretty likely that there is going to be a strategy battle. And if Sergio Perez does not keep up with Carlos Sainz and Max Verstappen, then it's going to be pretty likely that Ferrari are going to beat Red Bull in terms of the strategy battle, because they just have the driver advantage. It's a 2-on-1. They have Leclerc and Sainz, whereas Red Bull only have Verstappen. So it's going to be pretty difficult for Verstappen to win the race if Perez cannot keep up, because it will be a very big strategy battle. This circuit's got very high tyre wear, so it'll be very, very key to have 2 drivers there to kind of mess with the strategy. We know that Ferrari isn't the best at strategy calls. When they were like all the way back in 2018 competing for the championship, they weren't great. And I can tell you, because I was a Ferrari fan back then. Well, I'm a Vettel fan, so I was a fan of Ferrari then, and they messed up the strategy pretty bad. So if Red Bull can just keep Sergio Perez up there, I think they could outsmart Ferrari in terms of strategy. We'll have to find out. All right. Also, everyone that is asking when the race starts, it says right at the top right of the screen, it says 20 minutes. So be sure to go check. Well, that's why. So don't type that in the chat, because it does kind of spam it up a bit. So what else is there to do? I hope K-Mag's car is good. There is another thing to talk about. Reliability. This is the first race of the season. and first race of this new era as well. So reliability is going to be a big concern for all the teams. It's going to be the first time they've actually driven the cars at like maximum pace for a full race distance, and we'll just have to see how that works. Is there going to be any reliability issues? I'm predicting one of the Alpines is going to have some reliability issues. They're not going to be able to get right to the end, but who knows? We'll have to wait and see how the reliability is. I mean, in fact, there have been only, I think, 15 or so races in the entire history of Formula One where there haven't been a single DNF. And I think 10 of them or so have come in the turbo hybrid era, so from 2014 onwards. So reliability is pretty good, but of course we've got completely new cars this year, so I think reliability is going to dip for a bit until the teams work out how to make sure everything works and stays working for the entire course of the race. All right. 19 minutes now till lights out, and we have got a lot more to talk about. All right, so next up that we're talking about is Nico Hulkenberg and Lance Stroll. They are right at the bottom of the grid, but I'd just like to point out Nico Hulkenberg, who has not driven the Aston Martin car whatsoever in testing. He didn't drive in Barcelona. He didn't drive in Bahrain testing. He came out and drove the Aston Martin for FP1, FP2, FP3, and that was it. And then he still went and outqualified Lance Stroll. Like, what a job there from Nico Hulkenberg. And Lance Stroll should, frankly, just be ashamed of that. How is Nico Hulkenberg, who has no practice in the Aston Martin, just gone and outqualified him? Pretty crazy indeed. Yeah, I mean, Nico Hulkenberg's solid driver, and I think he should get a drive in Formula One full time, but there just aren't enough seats. There's actually been talks about Mario Andretti, who runs an IndyCar team. I think, I'm not exactly sure, but he's a pretty big racer. He's thinking of starting a new Formula One team, and they're going to start in 2024. We'll wait and see if that actually happens, but Nico Hulkenberg definitely deserves a seat, so we'll have to wait and see how that goes. Also, Alex Albon out-qualifying Nicolas Latifi by that big. Alex Albon's in 14th place, Nicolas Latifi in 20th. I mean, we can clearly see the difference between the good driver and the pay driver here. Alex Albon in 14th place, Nicolas Latifi in 20th. Williams are getting a lot of money from Nicolas Latifi, and that they're also going to be able to develop their car a lot, but they're going to need someone to score some points as well to satisfy those sponsors. And I think Alex Albon will be doing a pretty good job of that. He's in 14th now, but his race pace is pretty good, and we'll see how that Williams handles actually. We've got race more. Let me just get the data up. In fact, all right, here we go. So the race pace simulation data from Friday, Alpine are 7/10 behind Red Bull, but they're the fourth fastest car in terms of race pace. So Alpine, they were rather slow in qualifying yesterday, but in terms of race pace, they were right up there. And then we've got McLaren, who are apparently very quick in the race. I don't think that's going to happen, because they also said in the qualifying simulation data the McLarens were going to be quick, but they weren't. So I think the McLarens are going to stay down there. Maybe if Lando Norris is lucky, he'll score some points. But then Haas, Alfa Romeo, and Aston Martin, apparently all of them are tied in terms of race pace. And now Aston Martin won't be. Aston Martin's right at the back of the field. But if we've got Aston Martin if we've got Alfa Romeo and Haas tied on race pace, that is a pretty good sign that we're going to see a battle between probably Bottas, Magnussen, and Hamilton. I mean, Hamilton may drive off into the distance. He does have more experience, and he is in a Mercedes. But those Ferrari power units look pretty solid. So we'll have to wait and see what happens. Also, guys, we have 700 people watching. If you could hit the like button, be sure to do so. And if you have not subscribed, be sure to do that as well and turn on notifications. I do stream for every single qualifying and every single race, so I very much do appreciate your support. We also get team radios here as well. I'm going to see if we can get some team radios, but not right now, because all the drivers are on the grid, but we will get some team radios coming through once the race has begun. All right, next up on the talking list is, let's see, Pierre Gasly and Yuki Sonoda. So the Red Bull car is pretty quick. The AlphaTauri hasn't translated so much. The AlphaTauri is having porpoising issues, whereas the Red Bull wasn't having porpoising issues. So We'll have to see if AlphaTauri can sort out those issues as quickly as they can. And Yuki Tsunoda, this is his second year in Formula One. He's going to have to really pick up the pace. Otherwise, Helmut Marko will put him on the chopping block, and he will lose his seat in Formula One. So he's really going to have to pick up the pace here. Otherwise, he will... he'll lose his seat, really, because there's a lot more drivers in the Red Bull Academy who are waiting for their drive in Formula One. So Yuki Tsunoda, in his second year, he needs to match Pierre Gasly. We know Pierre Gasly is doing an amazing job. I mean, what a driver. He's been on form for so long. All of last year, basically, qualifying 5th and 6th in AlphaTauri. We'll wait and see what he can do this year, but Sonoda really has to pick up the pace a bit. And so does Mick Schumacher, because you see Kevin Magnussen hadn't driven in Formula One for 18 months or so, and now he's first race back. He's qualified in seventh position in a Haas, done a solid qualifying job as well. So, and Mick Schumacher's been driving this car for around about the entirety of last year as well. Admittedly, the cars are very different, but this is his second year in Formula One. So Mick Schumacher is also going to have to match Kevin Magnussen to show that he's got some kind of pace in Formula One. We know Magnussen is a good benchmark. He's a pretty quick driver. So, and he scored a podium, in fact, on his first ever Formula One race, did Kevin Magnussen. So we'll wait and see if Mick Schumacher can pick up the pace or if he is overrated, as Martin Kingdon says he is. George was supposed to beat Hamilton in qualifying. Now, what do I have to say about that? George Russell, apparently he locked up going into turn 1 on his qualifying lap, and that's basically what screwed him up. He messed up at turn number 1, and I was talking about this yesterday, actually. Getting the correct tyre temperatures for turn number 1 is very, very tricky, because you've got a very long straight there, so you've got to overheat your tyres coming out of the final corner. By the time you get to turn number 1, your tyres will be at the perfect temperature. So George Russell slightly messed that up, and then did go on and lock up going into turn number 1. So that's really not going to be ideal for him, and we'll wait and see if he can overtake and get higher up in the standings for the race. We know that George Russell very much can overtake. We saw it in the Mercedes when he drove it in Sakir in 2020. Replaced Lewis Hamilton. He went and beat Valtteri Bottas. So it was a solid job there from George Russell. We know he can overtake. Let's see if he can do it this time, especially considering it's 2022. So we've got the brand new regulations for to help overtaking. So we'll actually see if racing is any better. We've got 3 DRS zones at this circuit. So 3 DRS zones will probably make overtaking a lot better anyway, but now the new cars we'll see a lot more side-by-side action. And if we are going to see side-by-side action, I would love to see a multi-lap side-by-side battle between Leclerc and Verstappen, like wheel to wheel. That would be absolutely insane. Hello Kies, and Charleston Lowe, and everyone else I haven't said hello to, but thank you everyone for tuning in, and we will be getting underway. All right, so we've got a quote from George Russell. He has said, we've got a bit of ground to make up for sure. We've got a bit of ground to make up for sure. Yesterday didn't work out ultimately. We are a step behind Ferrari and Red Bull. Morale is good. It would be worse if we were this pace and we didn't know what the issue was, so it's just damage limitation from now on. All right, so George Russell is just saying damage limitation, and I think that's what Mercedes is trying to do. That's what they said in some of the articles that Planet F1 has written, so if you do want to go check them out, link is in the description. But that George Russell is trying to do damage limitation because once Mercedes can fix their porpoising issues, they think that they're going to be on the same pace as Ferrari and Red Bull. And if they can fix those porpoising issues ASAP, then we could have a 3-way battle for the World Drivers' Championship and the World Constructors' Championship, which would be absolutely insane. And I would love to see that. So we'll wait and see what happens there. Another thing to talk about, the tyres that we've got today, they are the C1 for the hards, which is the hardest tyres that Pirelli make. The C2, the second hardest, and which C2s are the mediums, and C3 are the softs. So these are the hardest tyres of the Pirelli range, and they're not going to have that much grip off the line, and they're also not going to have much grip when the temperature is low. So it's going to be very, very important to get a smooth exit, a smooth race start, and then you can barrel your way down into turn number 1, so you can actually make an overtake at the race start. Who do I think is going to win? Well, I think the driver who crosses the finish line first is going to win. Whoa, I got you there, didn't I? No, I think that it's going to be Max Verstappen. Oh no, I think it's actually going to be Leclerc. I mean, to be honest, I'm not particularly sure. It could be Verstappen, it could be Leclerc. I'm not exactly sure. Yeah, but I think it's going to be between those two if they don't crash into each other, which actually definitely could happen. Um, Also, guys, if you haven't hit the like button, be sure to do so. We've got 1,000 people watching, only 200 likes. If you could smash the like button, would be appreciated. All right. So the strategists don't know if it's going to be a one-stop race or if it's going to be a two-stop race. Pirelli have said, and they've said every single strategy that they think is a viable strategy is going to be a two-stop strategy. And I think with these new tires as well, the teams don't have that much data on them. They don't know when they're going to get a puncture, when they're going to fall off the cliff. It would be safe to do a two-stop strategy, and then you know that your tires aren't going to fall off the cliff and they aren't going to have a puncture, because if they do, then that could be catastrophe, couldn't it? So it is a very good idea for the team to go for a two-stop, and that just makes the race all more exciting for us. We get to see 2 pit stops, and well, yeah. Who do you think is going to be the first crash or the first spin? Ooh, now that is pretty difficult. I mean, I think someone who's just in a bad position at the in the wrong position at the wrong time at turn number 1 will probably be the first crash. Also, another thing to consider is this is the first time the drivers are having a race start in these 2022 cars. If you remember back to 2018, the first time all of the drivers had raced at the French Grand Prix was in 2018, yeah, at Paul Ricard, the track with all of the blue stripes and stuff. They had a horrible race start. Seb Vettel crashed into Bottas, and then Fernando Alonso and I think Esteban Ocon had a tangle, and so did Vettel and Alonso. So it was pretty messy at the start of 2018, and that was just for a new track. So this year, the drivers have got all new cars. They don't know what the brakes are going to be like at turn number 1. So we'll find out. We'll find out how that goes. But there is a higher chance of the drivers having a collision here, because no one's actually done a race start in these cars before, which will be very, very interesting to see. All right. We are now 8 minutes from the race to begin, and let's. Oh, well, I can't wait for this race to start. All right, so here we go. Also, just to point out that the sun is setting in Bahrain now, and the race will be held at night in the floodlights. So track temperature and air temperature will be falling, and that means the closer and closer we get to the end of the race, the faster and faster the laps are going to be, and it's just going to make the race all the more exciting. So we'll see what happens there. But I think there's a solid chance any one of the top 4, given the right circumstances, could win the race. Maybe if Verstappen doesn't do so well or gets damaged, then Perez could go on and win. But it will be very, very interesting to see what's going to happen at the race start. We will have the formation lap in a couple of minutes' time as well. And this time we'll actually have the map for the formation lap, which is very, very cool indeed. And then we will be racing in a couple of minutes. All right. Let me know in the chat what your predictions are. Who do you think is going to win the race? And who do you think is going to be the first driver to get a DNF? Yeah, I mean, I don't think anyone really expected the Haas to be in front of the Mercedes. That is totally out of this world. But I think that's just the Ferrari power unit and the Haas putting a lot of development into this car. I mean, last year they did not develop their car one bit. The only thing they did was make spare parts in case Mazepin or Schumacher had a crash. So this year they've spent entirety of last year just developing this year's car, and they've done a very good job. As we can see, Alpha and Haas very close on level pegging, and pretty close behind the Ferraris as well. I mean, they're 5 tenths behind, but nevertheless, it's a lot closer than they were last year. So a very good job there. What happened yesterday? Well, we've got 1,000 people watching, so I might as well let you guys know. I played the F1 theme song at the start of the live stream, and that's why I got taken down, because of the F1. Oh my god, I can't even talk. Theme song. So that's why my stream got copyrighted. But obviously, I'm not going to play the F1 theme song now, and then I won't get copyrighted. Pretty simple. Yeah, it was just my own mistake, to be honest. So there we go. All right. So let's see, what else have we got to do. Ooh, Pele Jutterstrom, thank you for the donation. Who do you think will leave the track first and who will be sacrificed by the F1 gods? Well, thank you for the donation very much. Very much does help out the channel. So who do you think is going to leave the track first? Ooh, I think it'll be Leclerc will go off the track first, and then he'll get pushed off by Verstappen. They'll be racing wheel to wheel, and Leclerc's going to go off the track. That's what I think is going to happen. And then, what was your other question? Who will be sacrificed by the F1 gods? I think that means who's going to get a DNF. And if I'm going to be honest with you, I have a feeling it's going to be Esteban Ocon. I think Esteban Ocon will get a DNF because that Alpine engine will not last till the end of this race. But we'll find out. Let's see. All right. If we could hit 300 likes, that would be very, very nice indeed. We're 4 minutes away from the race beginning, and the drivers are on the grid, ready to start racing. All right. You think a Leclerc Verstappen crash on the first lap? Well, I mean, there's a possibility for sure, but I don't think so. Stream lag. Well, YouTube says my internet's all right, so maybe it's my audio. I'm not exactly sure what's lagging, but hopefully it says it's buffering a bit. All right. It might be your internet. I'm not 100% sure, but there's a couple of people saying it, so we'll find out. Hopefully it goes away. Toto Wolff has said, "We believe the car has potential, but the regulations are so different. We are just learning step by step. Today is another test for us. We've had some long runs. Some were good for us. Some were not. Some were bad. We are not where we want to be. We're not fighting for victories." Right, it says small lag. I don't know exactly how to fix that. Is it my voice or is it the stream? Just let me know and then I'll try and fix it. But I can't. Yeah, I won't turn on the F1 theme. I'll remember. Hard lag. Okay. One second. Let me just check my internet then. I'll be back in like 10 seconds. Right. So audio is going on and off. Right, I'll try and fix that. Let's see. Well, you might hear some background noise because I'm gonna have to turn this off. Let's see. Filters. Let me turn this off. Right, there we go. There we go. There we go. Right. So this should be a bit better. But everything is all right. Okay. Well, I've just deleted my YouTube filters for my voice now, so you're gonna hear quite a bit of background noise. So sorry about that. Unless I can re-add them in, but I don't think I can. Actually, oh, look at this cool animation, right? This animation is so cool. Look at that. Oh, that is amazing. Right. Copy. Where is it? Copy filters. Oh, we're back. Look at this. Coolest animation in the world. Where is it? Paste filters. All right. My voice should be working again. It's all better. Nice. All right. So here we are now, 1 minute till the race begins. The drivers will go on the formation lap very, very soon. And here we go then. Right. So we have got Leclerc. Then, well, actually, I'll take you around a lap of Formula One, of Bahrain, and then we'll go into the race commentary. So, as you know, we've got a very long straight at turn number one. Going down to turn number one. Just to let you know, all the drivers starting on an odd number are on the clean side of the grid, and all of the drivers starting on an even number are starting on the dirty side of the grid. So Verstappen and Perez are going to have a slower start, most likely, compared to Leclerc and Sainz. But anyway, we'll wait and see how that goes. Going down into turn number one, it's a hairpin. The driver's going to be braking around 100 meters. There are a couple of bumps there at that part of the racetrack, so the drivers are going to make sure not to hit them, otherwise that's going to screw up their lap quite significantly, like it did to George Russell yesterday. Then they go braking now into turn number 1, come out at turn number 2. If you can be flat at turn number 2, then you gain a lot of time. And I think the Alfa Romeos and the Hasses yesterday, they were flat going through turn number 2, and they had so much pace. And that's why I think the Haas is doing so well. They can go flat through turn number 2. They have so much acceleration as well. That is a very good job there from the Haas teams. But the Haas and the Alfa Romeo team, sorry. Then going up into turn number 4, there is a DRS zone there, so the drivers will have drag reduction system, extra top speed if they are chasing down another car. Turn number 4, make sure not to go wide at track limits. Track limits here is the white line and the wide light only, so if you do exceed track limits, I think you got 3 warnings before you get a penalty, and the drivers will know not to exceed track limits. The race will be going live very, very shortly. Then we've got turn 5 and turn 6. You've just got to carry as much speed as possible going through these corners. You don't want to lose any speed because acceleration... Oh, here we are. We're on the formation lap, guys, so I just need to point that out. On the formation lap. And then we will be underway for racing once the race is going to start. So... formation lap right now, all of you guys have voted. I think 30% of you think Verstappen's going to win, 29% think Leclerc, and 40% of you think the driver who finished first is going to win. Solid votes there from you guys. But here we go now. The drivers, actually look at the strategy here. We've got everyone is on the soft tyres except for Norris and Ricciardo. Both McLaren starting on the mediums. Very, very interesting there. We'll wait and see if that pays off for them. But we've now got Leclerc just coming through turn number 8. That's a downhill hairpin. You got to be very careful not to lock your brakes. And then at turn number 9 and 10, this is another very, very tricky corner. You got to go left. You got to turn left, downshift, brake, turn left, downshift, brake. So it's very, very tricky. You're doing so many things at the same time. The tyres sometimes just can't handle it and you lock up and you lose a whole lot of time. So you've got to be very careful at that section of the track. Then you've got another DRS zone going down the back straight. You've got turn number 11 and 12 when you'll be going up the hill. These corners are the high speed corners on the circuit. The driver's doing them 160 miles an hour. So they're very much stuck to the ground and all they've got to do is just get through there on the shortest distance possible. And then we've got turn number 13, I think it is. Yeah, turn number 13. They've just got to manage that corner and get a nice exit for that long straight ahead. And then once they've reached the final corner, it's just a smooth entry and then a smooth exit and activating the DRS once they get to the finish line. All right, I'm just going to do a quick refresh of this data here on the left. Let's just refresh that. All right, there we go. We're back. So... this is it, formation lap now. All of the drivers now just coming through, and we will be going racing in a matter of minutes. Well, in a matter of seconds at this point. So everyone that's tuning in, we've got 3,600 people. If you haven't hit the like button, be sure to do so. If you could hit 1,000 likes, that would be absolutely crazy. And hopefully, because yesterday was a record, like a record stream for me. So if we can hit like maybe 15, 18,000, 20,000 viewers, that would be insane. So if you haven't hit the like button, be sure to do so. But we're going to be getting started on the race commentary here. So here comes Leclerc and Verstappen. They are lining up on their grid slots. Charles Leclerc on the left on the clean side of the grid. Max Verstappen on the right on the dirty side. Max Verstappen and Carlos Sainz Carlos Sainz, Perez, all on used tyres. In fact, it's only Leclerc, Magnussen, Ocon, Schumacher. So Leclerc, Magnussen are the only two drivers in the top 10 that will be using a fresh set of soft tyres. Everyone else is on used sets of tyres. All right, so here we go. We've got the tyre information up. Latifi has just come to the end of the grid, and we will be going racing right about now. All right, so here we go. Nicholas Latifi comes to the end of the grid, and let's go racing. All right. So it is now... Let's see if they're revving their engines. I think they are. All right. And it is lights out and away we go. All right. So Max Verstappen and Charles Leclerc very much side by side going into... oh my God, what has happened here? Right, okay, never mind. Magnussen has gained 3 positions. Valtteri Bottas has dropped. Okay, this timing is glitching out quite a bit. But we've got Verstappen and Leclerc. Leclerc holds a very good lead over Max Verstappen right at the start of this race. And then Hamilton's gained positions. He's up into 4th. Magnussen's up into 5th. And Perez has lost 2 positions off this race start. But going into turn number 4, we've got Leclerc, then Verstappen, then Sainz, then Hamilton. And then we've got the Haas of Kevin Magnussen and Sergio Perez behind him. Going through now, Leclerc is holding a healthy advantage. But as we can see, the dirty air is not affecting all of these drivers that much. All of the drivers are a lot closer than they were last year. All right, Lando Norris and Daniel Ricciardo dropping right to the back of the field. They started in the mediums. They're suffering a lot from that. Valtteri Bottas is in 14th place. He started the race up in 6th. He's down into 14th. He's lost 8 positions off this race start. Absolutely horrible race start for him there. But right at the front, we've got Leclerc versus Verstappen, and they are, well, they're staying within DRS range. So Verstappen is, we're expecting a very close battle here. DRS will be enabled in 3 laps timed. But we've got Kevin Magnussen up in 5th place, Sergio Perez down in 6th, and George Russell's also gained 2. Fernando Alonso is the driver that's lost 1. But absolutely shocking start for both McLarens. So look, going forward, it's going to be pretty likely that everyone's going to start on the soft tyres. Otherwise, your race start is going to be absolutely horrible. But Leclerc leads the field coming out into the final corner now. And let's see how his... let's see how he manages this. Max Verstappen will be right on his tail for the slipstream, but we've got Carlos Sainz, in fact, is putting pressure on Max Verstappen. That Ferrari engine is a lot quicker down the straights, and especially a lot quicker on the acceleration front as well. So the Ferraris will be gaining on the Red Bulls going down the straights, and we'll have to wait and see how Max Verstappen decides to deal with it. And as we expected, Sergio Perez fell off and was not able to keep up with the top 4. So it's going to be a 2 versus 1 battle at the front there between Leclerc and Sainz versus Verstappen. So it's two Ferraris versus 1 Red Bull, which will not be ideal whatsoever for the Red Bull team there. We'll have to wait and see how that goes though. DRS will be enabled in 2 laps time. Everyone that is tuned into the stream, thank you so much. If you haven't hit the like button, be sure to do so. It really boosts the stream in the algorithm. And if you have not subscribed, be sure to do so. It really does help out the channel. All right, back to the race though. We have now Yuki Sonoda, who's right on the tail of Alex Albon. Alex Albon started the race in 14th, up into 11th. He gained 3 places. A solid race start for him. And let's see if he can score some points for that Williams. Nicholas Latifi still hanging around in 19th place, not doing that much of a good job really for a Williams driver. Let's see what else is there to talk about. There's a pretty close battle between Alonso and Ocon, the 2 Alpine drivers. There'll probably be some tense team radio coming over from Alpine because they do not want an incident here. They just need to gather as much data as possible from the actual race. We've got some team radio coming through, but Bottas has had a horrible start. Started the race up in 6th, down into 14th. I mean, how could that even happen? Right, so we're back at this now. We've got We've got Max Verstappen is setting lap times that are purple first sector, from Max Verstappen. So he's doing a solid job there, and we'll wait and see how that actually turns out for him, because he needs to pick up the pace if he wants to stay behind Charles Leclerc. Sainz has already fell off, and we have Hamilton now, who is on the tail of Sainz. So we've got Leclerc versus Verstappen. We've got Sainz versus Hamilton. That'll be very interesting to watch. Perez is actually side by side with Magnussen here. So let's see if he can make the overtake. He does make the overtake stick. Solid job there from Sergio Perez. Just squeezes past Kevin Magnussen. Oh yeah, I need to update the maps, the lap. Sorry, my fault. There we go. Whoops. I'll change that. Let's see. Oh, what's the... right, that's... Yeah, this is the first time that I'm using this information, so... let's go further up. And there we go. All right. So it's lap 3:57. Sorry about that. I totally forgot to update that. So we're back at the race now. We've got Verstappen and Leclerc pulling away in their own little section, and Perez will be doing his utmost best to try and catch up to Lewis Hamilton. And by the looks of it, the dirty air is actually it's not gone completely, but it's really significantly reduced. We've got a massive train behind Albon. We've got Albon, Sonoda, Schumacher, Bottas, Hulkenberg, Stroll, and Guan Yu Zhou all within 1 second of each other, and DRS hasn't even been enabled. So we can't even call it a DRS train. It's just a train. So this overtake is, the new regulations are working, and we're going to see a lot more overtaking. Now, DRS, we're on lap number 4. DRS will be enabled very, very soon. And well, we're going to have a lot of battling between Leclerc and Verstappen. Verstappen, in fact, falling out of DRS range. He's now 1 second behind. He's just dipped back into DRS range, but it's going to be crucial for him to stay within that. Otherwise, it's going to be extremely difficult for him to make an overtake on Leclerc. And actually catch up, in fact. Both of McLaren starting on the mediums. We'll see how that plans out for them, but we'll have to wait because they have really lost a lot of positions at the start of this race, and they're not doing well whatsoever. We've now got Sonoda making the attack on Alex Albon here, going through into turn number 11. It's very, very cluttered. I apologise for that. Hopefully it can become decluttered as quickly as possible. But that also means less close racing. We'll have to wait and see. Guan Yu Zhou has just made the overtake on Lance Stroll, and as expected, Hulkenberg is still ahead of Lance Stroll. Admittedly, he did start ahead, but Lance Stroll, he has very good race starts, and Hulkenberg is still doing a solid job of keeping ahead of him. So, very good job there from Nico Hulkenberg to stay ahead of Lance Stroll, and we'll wait and see how that plays out for him. Guan Yu Zhou is actually catching up to Valtteri Bottas. Valtteri Bottas had a horrible race start. He's in fact right on the back of Mick Schumacher. We'll see if he can make an overtake stick coming down onto the start-finish straight. He's within DRS range, but Verstappen, talking of DRS range, is out of it. He's 1.3 seconds behind Charles Leclerc, and that's not going to help him whatsoever. So we'll wait and see. Verstappen's got engine braking issues. All right. Well, we'll get some team radio coming through, and then I shall play that as I can. All right, we've got team radio from Max Verstappen, in fact. So let's play this. Here we go.
Your engine braking is doing funny things mid-corner. Understood.
Right, so Max Verstappen engine braking issues. We'll see if the Red Bull team can fix that. But usually, what we've seen in the past from Verstappen is that he always, oh yeah, I've got no power, but then he can go and sail along in an overtake. So we'll wait and see what he can do. Also, another thing, Russell has just overtaken Kevin Magnussen in the exact same style that I think who was it? I think Hamilton squeezed by Magnussen, exact same style that George Russell has just squeezed past Magnussen as well. So Magnussen did have very good qualifying pace, but he's kind of fell back. And Valtteri Bottas, who had a very good qualifying, just had a shocking race start. So we'll wait and see how that happens there. And yeah, all right. So McLaren in 18th and 20th. That is not where they wanted to be. They were doing so well last year, made so much progress, and it's all just down the drain now. Yuki Tsunoda just made the overtake on Alex Albon as well. So good job there from Yuki Tsunoda. But yeah. Oh yeah, it's pretty stupid, but the Williams and the Alpines are basically the same shade of blue. On the left-hand side especially. But I mean, all of the cars are blue, which is very, very weird. We've got nearly 8,000 people watching. If you guys haven't subscribed, be sure to do so. And if you haven't hit the like button, be sure to do that. If we could hit 1,000 likes, that would be insane. But let's get to the battle between Carlos Sainz and Lewis Hamilton for the final step of the podium. We are now 6 laps into this race, and we have Carlos Sainz versus Lewis Hamilton. Hamilton is within the DRS range now, going through into sector number 2. Hamilton, all he has to do is stay behind and get that DRS activation point, so he can slipstream him down the back straight and see if he can make an overtake stick there, really, because that will be pretty crucial for his race. All right. What else is there to talk about? Racing is a lot closer because, I mean, can you see how cluttered the map is? In fact, guys, I just have a question for you. Would you rather have this map or this map? Just let me know in the chat. And yeah, this map or this map. Because, and just say the original one or the map number or the second one. But the second one it's a little bit less cluttered. Okay, so you guys prefer the first one. All right, most of you guys prefer the first one. So I'm going to stay with the first one. All right, thank you for letting me know. I'll stick with that one because it just looks a lot nicer. Admittedly, the second one is kind of second one. Well, actually, I can't put both of them up. Quite a lot of people are saying second as well. I don't know. I'll see. I'll just do a poll. In fact, first map or second map. But then I'll get back to the commentary. Right. So 8,000. All right, so let's stop play. Let's stop typing 1 and 2 because I can see quite a lot of people are spamming. I've just done a poll there. You guys can vote in the poll, and then we'll decide from that. But anyway, back to the race. Guan Yu Zhou just made the overtake on Mick Schumacher, and he's caught up to his teammate. So racing is a lot closer, as you can see. And Guan Yu Zhou doing a good job on his first race, made two solid overtakes. So it's a very nice job there from Guan Yu Zhou. Good progress from him. His first race of the season, and first race in Formula 1 as well. So we'll wait and see how that happens. All right. Let's see. At the front, Hamilton has fell off the back of Carlos Sainz. So the front of the race has kind of settled down. We have Leclerc, then Verstappen, then Sainz, then Hamilton. And the closest gap we've got is 0.8 of a second. So Hamilton is still within DRS range, but he's not as close as where he was before. We've got 50 laps remaining of this race. And yeah, I look forward to this racing because we're going to have a lot of strategy battles. So I'm just going to let you know you lose 20 seconds in the pit lane if you go for a pit stop. And you lose, I think, 16 seconds if you pit under the virtual safety car. So we're going to have to see when the drivers do decide to pit. I think it's 16. Yeah, DRS has been enabled, guys. And I think it's going to be around about lap number 15, 16 that the drivers will start pitting. Yeah, so between lap number 14 and 24, the drivers will start to pit. So we're only like 5-6 laps away from the pit stop window before we get some pit stops. I'm going to get some more team radio up. And yeah, very exciting race. Okay, so I'm just going to point out Esteban Ocon has been given a 5-second time penalty for causing a collision. I don't know exactly what the collision was. Oh yeah, he spun around, I think, one of the Haas cars. Yeah, I think he spun around. I don't know exactly which one. This is very. I missed it, in fact. But here we go. We've got team radio from Lance Stroll. Let's play this.
You're speaking a lot in this race, man. My God.
Yeah, Lance Stroll complaining that too many people talking on the radio, and now we've got Lando Norris in 18th. Let's see what he has to say.
Okay, Lando, that's strat 7. The deployment will improve if we cool the car. Some of the soft runners beginning to struggle already. So Albon, 6 cars ahead, struggling.
Right, so very interesting here. So they've come over the radio and said the soft runners, the drivers on the soft tyres, they're struggling. Now, that's to be expected because they're in a DRS change. But the other thing that he said was you need to cool the car, and the car will perform better if the car is cooler. Now that's pretty obvious, but the thing is, with these closer racing, we're getting loads of trains forming. We got Guan Yu Zhou 3/10 behind Alex Albon. That is not doing his Ferrari power unit any good whatsoever. So he needs to make that overtake as quickly as possible and then cool the engine down because hot air is not good for your engine. Valtteri Bottas has just made the overtake on Alex Albon, and now Guan Yu Zhou will be trying to follow his teammate through up the field and take the experience that all the experience that Valtteri Bottas has and use it. All right. Also, guys, we've got 9,000 people watching, but only 900 likes. If you could maybe hit 1,500 likes, that would be epic. But now we have gap between Hamilton and Perez. All right, so before we were talking about a battle between Sainz and Hamilton, but now we've got a battle between Hamilton and Perez. Hamilton's dropped off the pace a bit. His tyres are starting to wear out. Maybe the Mercedes tyres wear out quicker compared to the Ferraris. We'll have to wait and see. But Sergio Perez is now catching up to Lewis Hamilton. We know Sergio Perez can overtake. We know he can defend, especially from last year's race. He's a solid driver for defending. So Sergio Perez, let's see if he can make the overtake on Lewis Hamilton. He's got the DRS. He's just coming through the back straight now, so he'll be activating that and using that to close the gap. But he needs to get that start-finish straight DRS and gain a lot of positions. We'll wait and see if he can make that happen, though. Yeah, Hamilton might be coming over the radio and be like, Bono, my tyres are dead. But we'll wait and see what happens there. Stroll has just overtaken Nico Hulkenberg. So Stroll has now just overtaken the driver that has like no experience in that car. But nevertheless, Stroll doing a good job and overtaking his teammate. Hopefully there's no collisions between the two drivers, but we'll have to wait and see on that. All right. So the race has kind of settled down. All the drivers have spread out a bit more now. Leclerc is still leading the field with 10 laps into this race. We've got Max Verstappen 2.7 seconds behind him, Carlos Sainz 4.5 seconds behind him. So Leclerc and Verstappen very much in a league of their own, and Sainz has fell back. Oh, and here we go. Perez, in fact, racing Lewis Hamilton, going down into turn number 4. What an overtake from Sergio Perez. I mean, he's just gone straight past him. Hamilton will fight this back around turn number 4, but Perez seems to have the advantage, and he's just got ahead and squeezed past, and Hamilton has no chance. So now it is back to a Ferrari, Red Bull, and then double Mercedes, and then a Haas, and then an AlphaTauri. But nevertheless, Sergio Perez did what the Red Bull team needed him to do. He needs to get up there so he can screw with the strategy. And also another thing that he's going to need to do, Sergio Perez is going to have to get out of that DRS zone ASAP. Otherwise, Hamilton will chase him down. And the Mercedes PU hasn't been that good this year, but DRS is very, very powerful indeed. So I think Perez will be doing his absolute best to try and get Hamilton out of DRS range and catch up to Carlos Sainz. So then Ferrari and Red Bull, can have their little strategy battle, which will be commencing in 4 or 5 laps time now. We've got 10,000 people watching. We broke the five-figure boundary. Everyone that's tuned in, thank you so much. It really does mean a lot. And in terms of the vote, we've got 68% of the people voting for map number 1, so I'm just going to stick with it. And the map has kind of spread out a bit more, so you can see everyone on the track. So that is totally fair enough. Democracy in action. All right, so Guan Yu Zhou has made the overtake on Alex Albon. Solid job from him. And Guan Yu Zhou just following his teammate through and through. And I mean, Valtteri Bottas is a very good teammate for experience. He's been in this sport for a very long time, and Guan Yu Zhou has a lot to learn, and Valtteri Bottas is the right man to learn it from. Stroll has just made the overtake on Mick Schumacher as well, so he is progressing up the field. Nico Hulkenberg not making that much progress, but you have to remember Nico Hulkenberg, he hasn't driven this car, he hasn't driven an F1 car in so long. He's not, his neck and in fact his whole fitness of his entire body is going to be very much on the line, because these F1 cars are so physical, so many G-forces. You really have to be very fit to be able to perform for a long time in these cars. All right, so I just want to point out right at the start of the field, right at the start of the race, none of the two teams' drivers were next to each other. So it was always the first, no drivers were next to each other in terms of the same team. But now the race has settled down, and we've had overtaking happen, and we've now got the 2 Mercedes together, the 2 Alpines together, the 2 Alfa Romeos together, and then the 2 Aston Martins are split by 1 position. The 2 McLarens are also split by 1 position. Now, what I can tell from that is overtaking has done its job, really, because the new 2022 regulations have done their job, because now all of the drivers can get back up to the relative pace of their car, relative to their teammates. So we know Hamilton and Russell pretty close together. They're now next to each other. Ocon and Alonso last year, they were pretty much neck and neck in qualifying, once again alongside each other. So the 2022 regulations, as far as I can tell, are working pretty well. All right, so here we go. The first pit stop, we have Lewis Hamilton has just come into the pit lane. All right, so he is dropping down the field now, but Hamilton's into the pits, and let's see what can happen here. So is he going to try and undercut Sergio Perez? I think that's what's going to happen, and that might trigger a chain reaction of pit stops. We also have Fernando Alonso coming into the pit lane. We're on lap number 12 of 57 laps. So first pit stop on lap number 12, Hamilton comes out with the hard tyres. All right, so what Pirelli had suggested was if your car has a lot of tyre wear, your ideal strategy is going to go soft tyres, hard tyres, soft tyres. So, and if it has loads of tyre wear, then you're going to go soft tyres, hard tyres, medium tyres. So by the looks of it, that Merc is going to have a lot of tyre wear. Hamilton's comes out on the hard tyres. He's going to put in the fastest possible laps he can to try and undercut Sergio Perez. But Fernando Alonso, on the other hand, has come out on the medium tyres. So that Alpine, not as much tyre wear as the Mercedes, and we'll see. We'll see if that tyre wear comes to bite Hamilton back later, because pitting early really can screw you over later into this race, and we'll have to wait and see what happens there. We'll see if Russell also comes in or if Sergio Perez does, or if Sergio Perez thinks that Hamilton is not a threat. We'll look at Hamilton's sector times, in fact, as he is coming through the lap. He's right behind Guan Yu Zhou. We'll be getting a slight bit of a tow and DRS as well, and we'll see what his lap times are on those hard tyres. Pirelli have said the hard tyres are 1.2 seconds slower than the soft tyres, but those are fresh sets of both of them. So Hamilton's a fresh set of hards, whereas Perez and Russell on an old set of softs. We'll see what his lap times are like. So Hamilton through the middle sector, not a quick lap time. In fact, he didn't even improve on his soft lap time. So those hard tyres are going to take a while to warm up. Fernando Alonso improves on his mediums. So the mediums, quick to warm up and quick to get into action, really. Whereas Hamilton has to really nurse those soft tyres and warm them up to the correct temperature before actually getting out and pushing on them. He does make the overtake on Guan Yu Zhou. Solid overtake there, just going down the straight with the DRS. Fair enough. And I don't think Guan Yu Zhou is going to fight it much because there's no point. Hamilton's just in a completely different race from him. Hamilton's already pitted, whereas Guan Yu Zhou hasn't. We're now 13 laps into this race, and all of the drivers' tyres will be starting to wear out. We'll have a lot of complaints coming through on the radio about tyre wear. In fact, we've got Carlos Sainz here. Max Verstappen's just come over the radio and said, I have zero traction. So there we go. Max Verstappen has just said, no traction. Let's see what Carlos Sainz has to say.
Now is Perez car behind, 3.2, still on plan A, Perez 3.2 behind.
Right, so Ferrari's still on plan A. Not sure exactly what that means, but if they're on plan A, that's like they're doing a good job. That's where they expect it to be. So hopefully Ferrari's doing pretty well. We'll see what Verstappen can do. Mick Schumacher is also pitted. He comes out on the track on the medium tyres as well. So Hamilton, the only driver so far to choose the hard tyres. We'll see if that's good for him, if that's a good choice overall, or if he does lose out later at the end of this race. All right, we are 14 laps into this race. We've now got 12,000 people watching, and we've got 1,500 likes. If we could hit 2,000 likes, that would be amazing. I mean, we're very, very close to hitting a record stream. My highest ever view count was 18,000 people. So if you guys keep on hitting the like button and boosting the algorithm and hitting that subscribe button as well, it's very much going to it's going to recommend my stream to everyone, which it will be absolutely lovely. Also, Archipelago23, nice to see that you're back in the chat. Lovely to see old fans from last season coming back and all of the new ones as well. I welcome all of you to this coverage of the Bahrain Grand Prix. Alex Albon comes into the pits as well. He is the fourth driver to come into the pit lane. And once again, Mick Schumacher also improving on his medium times. So it is expected that the hard tyres, they're slower and they're going to take a while to warm up as well. So the medium tyres is a good choice if you're going to do an undercut, because you need to get that immediate lap time coming out those tyres straight away. And that's why the medium tyres are the preferred tyre of choice when you're going for like a push laps, or when you're going for an undercut, all right. We're now 14 laps into this race. Leclerc still leading by a healthy margin, 3.8 seconds ahead of Max Verstappen, and Verstappen himself is 7 seconds ahead of Leclerc's teammate Carlos Sainz. Perez is in fact closing the gap. He's closed the gap by half a second up onto Carlos Sainz. Verstappen is pitting. All right, this puts the pressure on Ferrari now. We also have a yellow flag on track. Let's just change the yellow flag on track. There we go. I don't know exactly why we have a yellow flag. I'll let you know ASAP, but we're back to green flag racing. I think it was just a bit of debris, to be honest, and they've cleared it up. So we are back to green flag racing. But Verstappen and Sainz, both of them come into the pit lane. So Ferrari completely cover off that choice. And now Verstappen's coming out of the pit. So is Carlos Sainz. Verstappen, interesting. Verstappen is on the soft tyres. He's doing his absolute utmost best to try and undercut Charles Leclerc. So it's maximum pressure on Leclerc now. He's going to have to put in a very, very quick lap time. Sainz as well, also out on the soft tyres. Very, very interesting choice here. So both drivers that have just pitted, both come out on soft tyres. We'll wait and see now if that pays off for them, because or at the end of the race they're going to get totally screwed over. We'll find out. Hey, Charles Durino, sorry. Yeah, all of you guys, thank you so much for tuning in. I mean, we're so close to 2,000 likes now. If you could smash that like button, we could probably hit it, if you haven't already. Right. Getting back to the race though, 15 laps of this race now have happened. Ocon, Bottas, Magnussen, and Gasly have all come into the pits this lap as well. They have all bolted on the mediums. Hamilton, the only driver out on the hards, and Verstappen and Sainz are both on the softs. Okay, very, very interesting here. We'll see what Leclerc does. Leclerc now just coming out the final corner. Does he decide to go into the pit lane, or does he carry on going? Max Verstappen just set a purple middle sector. Those tyres are on fire, and he's going to be pushing to the absolute limit. And here, Verstappen's just gone 2 seconds quicker than Leclerc in the middle sector. So it's going to be neck and neck coming out the final corner. Coming out the pit lane and down the back straight. So we got Verstappen now coming out the final corner. Leclerc is in the pit. It takes 20 seconds for his tyres to get changed. Let's see now. The gap between Verstappen and Leclerc is 21.5 seconds. Let's see what it is coming out the pit lane. Leclerc is out of the pit lane. Verstappen is chasing him down. And going into turn 1, they're pretty much going to be side by side. You remember, Verstappen has the warm tyres. His tyres are already warmed up. 0.3 is the gap between Leclerc and Verstappen. I think we're in for a very good a lap battle here. What am I talking about? I think we're in for a very good battle here between Leclerc and Verstappen. 0.2 is the gap between the two drivers. Going to turn number 4, Verstappen is very much in the slipstream of Charles Leclerc. Does not make the overtake for this on this occasion, but he is so close behind. He's going to get that DRS, and he's going to pounce at any opportunity he has to get past him. Verstappen once again another purple sector from him. Perez has also pit. He's come out on the mediums. Russell pits. He comes out on the hard. So both Mercedes deciding to come out on the hard tyres. Very, very interesting choice there. We'll see if that pays off for them later in the race. Because it looks like Leclerc, Verstappen and Sainz, all of them have gone onto soft tyres to try and go for a short-term advantage over the other driver. So 0.4 is the gap now between Leclerc and Verstappen. They're slipstreaming each other going down the straight here. Going into now the second to last straight of the track, turn number 12, all Verstappen has to do is just keep it as close as possible behind Charles Leclerc. He's within DRS range, which is probably the most important thing. The undercut is very powerful, especially around this circuit as well, because because the tyre wear is so high, the undercut is even more powerful. All right, going down the start-finish straight now, the gap between the two drivers, 0.8 of a second. We have now got Max Verstappen 0.2 behind Charles Leclerc. They're going to go side by side. Verstappen has taken the lead on Charles Leclerc going into turn 1. Leclerc will be able to defend. All right, he goes for the switchback. Leclerc's going to have the better exit coming out this corner. Let's see, going into turn number 4 now, who is going to get the overtake done? Leclerc is tucked right in side by side going to turn number 4. Leclerc on the left, Verstappen on the right. Leclerc swoops around the outside and stays ahead of Max Verstappen. What a battle this is. Amazing job there. Both drivers keeping it clean, not exceeding track limits. Very, very nice driving here. Just another thing to point out, Perez is on the mediums, whereas everyone else on the top teams is on the softs. So Perez may come back later in this race to overtake Carlos Sainz to get a double Red Bull podium. We'll have to wait and see. It's been a very, very long time since we've got a double Ferrari podium, and we're 17 laps into this race. We've still got another 40 laps to go. So hold on to your seats and make sure to smash that like button, because we just broke 2,000 likes. 2,500 is the next target, really. 0.4 is the gap between these two drivers now, Leclerc and Verstappen. And I have a feeling we're getting round number 2 on this battle here between Leclerc and Verstappen. Going into turn number 1, I think we're going to have another slipstream and another bit of DRS that's going to be helping these two drivers go wheel to wheel. All right, Verstappen currently holds the fastest lap of the race, and we'll wait and see what Leclerc can do against that. Let's see. Everyone that is subscribing as well, thank you so much. I really do appreciate it. I apologize I can't read all of your names out. I really wish I could, but we've got so many people subscribing, I just cannot keep track. But if you haven't subscribed yet, be sure to do so and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss it. Right, Verstappen just got past Leclerc going into turn 1, and it's just going to be a repeat of last lap. Leclerc has got the slipstream. He will tuck right into the slipstream of Max Verstappen. He's going to pull out this time. Does he go to the left? Does he go to the right? Leclerc goes to the right. Verstappen goes to the left this time. Leclerc makes the overtake earlier into this corner, and he is once again ahead of Max Verstappen. Solid job there from Leclerc. He got the switch back from turn number 1, and he's just going to be doing this again and again until Verstappen can find a way to defend against him. All right, so Leclerc once again ahead of Max Verstappen. Both drivers so close to each other, and so close on pace. This racing is going to be absolutely amazing. We've got another 40 laps of this racing. Like, can you imagine? All right, so the tire wear is going to be kicking in, and the drivers are going to get overheating tires very quickly, especially Verstappen. So Verstappen is going to have to stay on his watch and make sure his tires don't overheat. His sector times have been falling away a bit as well, so he's going to be careful. Sergio Perez, in fact, has just set a fastest lap of the race on the medium tyres. So by the looks of it, maybe the mediums are the better race tyre, and you can go for a longer lap time. You have better durability and pretty quick laps as well. So maybe mediums was the way to go. But now maybe that's what they'll do next lap. Right. So Leclerc versus Verstappen, round number 3. 8 tenths is the gap between the two drivers, and they're now coming out of the final corner. Verstappen once again is in the slipstream, but this time he is not close enough. He's gaining and gaining, but this time I don't think he'll be able to make an overtake stick. So those overheating tires really coming back to bite Max Verstappen. But I think what he's trying to do, instead of make the overtake stick at turn number 1, he's going to make it stick at turn number 4, because he has another DRS zone now coming out of turn number 2. He'll be flat on that throttle pedal going up the hill. DRS has been activated. He's once again not close enough to make the overtake though. So it's Leclerc still maintains that lead over Max Verstappen after the first round of pit stops, and Verstappen's car is beginning to overheat. He will be falling off a bit now. Maybe he's gonna drop back a bit, cool off his tires, recharge the battery, and go for another attack. But nevertheless, it's been a solid battle between Leclerc and Verstappen for 3 laps running now. All right, so just a little bit of update. Further down the field, we now have everyone has pitted except for Lando Norris and Nico Hulkenberg. I expect they'll be pitting very soon, because Daniel Ricciardo has done 20 laps on those medium tyres, and then he's decided to pit. So I think the medium tyres are only good for about 20 or so laps. So Lando Norris will be coming into pits very soon, and all of the drivers that have driven around are on the medium tyres. They will have to pit in around about 15 or so laps. So we will be getting another set of pit stops, a 2-stop race, which makes it all the more exciting. And if you guys haven't hit the like button, be sure to do so. 2,500 likes is the target. We're currently on 14,000 viewers. The record for this channel is 18,000, so we're not that far off, and considering we got another 39 laps left, I definitely think we could break the record. So if you haven't hit the like button or subscribe, be sure to do so. Also, Jackson Britton, thank you for the £1 donation. Very much is appreciated. Daniel Ricciardo's in 20th place, right at the back of the field. Did not expect to be saying that after McLaren did such a good job last year. I mean, it's absolutely crazy how much these regulations have changed the grid. We've got Magnussen up in 7th. We've got Bottas qualifying up in 6th, and then we got McLaren. We got Lando Norris and Daniel Ricciardo right at the back of the field. Absolutely insane. Right, so Leclerc has broke the DRS from Max Verstappen, so Leclerc is now out of the DRS range. He does not need to worry. He can probably recharge his battery a bit and cool his tyres down, and then he will be on his way to managing his tyres, really, because that's the main struggle now, considering the medium tyres can do around about 20 or so laps, and this is a 60-lap race, or 59-lap race. They're going to have 3 sets of tyres, so and if Leclerc's gone for the softs this time round, he's either going to have to go on the hards, which are pretty slow in terms of race pace from what we can see from Hamilton and Russell, because those are the only 2 drivers, the 2 Mercs are the only 2 drivers on the hard tyres, so Leclerc and Verstappen are going to have to play the tyre management game if they are to get to the end of this race with a respectable pace. All right. So let's see now. We are 20 laps into this race, 1/3 of the way through, and let's see how this is going. All right. Magnussen is doing very well. He's holding his own up there in 7th place. Mick Schumacher down in 14th. But Magnussen doing a solid job. He pitted onto the soft tyres as well. So interesting strategy call there, because Schumacher pitted onto the mediums, whereas Magnussen pitted onto the softs. We'll wait and see if that's a split strategy between the teams and which strategy pays off better. But Sergio Perez, he went onto the medium tyres, whereas all of the other top 4 drivers, they went into the softs. So I think Sergio Perez is going to have a little bit of an advantage towards the end of the race, because of the simple fact that his tyres will have worn out less compared to everyone else. I will be streaming all of the races. Yeah, I will be streaming all of the races like this, and I will be doing all of the commentary and I do qualifying and the race as well. So be sure to subscribe. I very much do appreciate it. Yeah. Oh, we're on 24K subscribers. I think we're on 24K. I'm not exactly sure. If you guys could let me know, that'd be great. All right. Back to the race though. We now have Carlos Sainz, who is 7 seconds behind Verstappen, and he is 3 seconds ahead of Sergio Perez. Sergio Perez still holding fastest lap of the race on the medium tyres. Very, very interesting there. He's on the medium tyres and still got the fastest lap of the race on the slower tyre, which is interesting because I think Leclerc, Verstappen and Sainz are going to be conserving their tyres so much that the medium tyres might actually work out to be the faster tyre. We'll have to wait and see on that because this is the first race of the season. We don't know how the tires actually work. Yeah, I also need to take a drink. Yeah, guys, if you are watching this, remember to stay hydrated because staying hydrated is very important. All right, let's see Nico Hulkenberg. Well, let's see who the first driver is to get lapped. Then sure. Yeah, Nico Hulkenberg is the first driver who could potentially get lapped. We'll have to wait and see on that. But it's still pretty far away. All right, so here we go now. We are 1/3 of the way through this race, and the race has very much settled down. We've got Bottas trying to make an overtake on Yuki Sonoda, and Stroll has just made the overtake on Nicholas Latifi. So, good job there from Lance Stroll, but the main battle here is Valtteri Bottas versus Yuki Sonoda. Sonoda is currently, where is he? Going into turn 1, Valtteri Bottas slipstreaming him down the straight. Getting very, very close indeed. But that Honda power unit looks to be the strongest power unit of the entire grid. They've got like the fastest, the most acceleration, the most top speed. So, by the looks of it, it's going to be very, very difficult for Valtteri Bottas to actually catch up to Yuki Tsunoda because that Honda engine is just so quick. They've got the VTEC, you know what I mean? So Bottas will have a tough job catching up to Yuki Tsunoda, but I think Bottas can force a mistake from the young driver there because Bottas has a lot more experience and he is very, very consistent indeed. So he can just carry on applying that pressure on Yuki Tsunoda and that will probably force a little mistake to let him make an overtake. All right, we have now got 23 laps through this race, and the race has very much settled down. In fact, the gap at the front, Perez is catching up to Carlos Sainz, but the gap still remains around about 3 seconds, and we'll have to wait and see in terms of the pace. All right, Lando Norris and Alex Albon having a little battle down there. Yeah, in 15th place, Lando Norris is on the 21 lap old medium tyres and he's lost a position to Alex Albon, who's on the fresher medium tyres. Nevertheless though, a good overtake from Alex Albon, and Lando Norris still struggling on those tyres. He's 21 laps old. I think he's just driving those tyres as long as he can go before he has to pit. Average pit time is 20 seconds and it's 20 seconds under normal racing conditions and 16 seconds under virtual safety car and safety car conditions. But I don't think we'll be getting a safety car, and maybe we haven't got a single DNF yet, but fingers crossed, maybe we don't even get any more DNFs till the end of the race, you know? Yeah. All right. So let's see. We've got Leclerc closing up on the back of Kevin Magnussen. Oh, no, not Kevin Magnussen, sorry. Nico Hulkenberg. I don't know how I mix them two up. But Sergio Perez is closing up on Carlos Sainz. Now, this tells me that around about lap 7 or 8, the medium tyres start to get quicker than the soft tyres because the soft tyres, obviously, they wear out a lot quicker than the mediums. Sergio Perez is catching up to Carlos Sainz, and he's doing a pretty good job of it. So 9 laps is the time where the soft tyres start getting a lot slower compared to the mediums. And by the looks of it, everyone now has done 7 or 8 laps on the medium. So the medium tyres are picking up the pace, whereas the soft tyres are starting to fall off the cliff. Leclerc and Verstappen and Sainz have done now 11 laps on the soft tyres, and they will be probably pitting maybe in five or so more laps. But that will be another opportunity for Verstappen to try and undercut because, it's not going to help. That's the only way he can get past Leclerc, because Leclerc's doing a solid job defending here. All the way back in 2019 was when he got his first pole in Bahrain, and he was leading the race. Unfortunately, he had engine issues then. Let's hope that doesn't happen this year, and we just get a straight fight between Leclerc and Verstappen. They were very much going at it, and we'll see if they can do that again once the pit stops have finished. All right. Let's see. Is there any more on-track action? We've got Norris versus Stroll. Norris is falling further and further back the field. Maybe Norris is trying to do a one-stop race. It's a viable strategy, maybe. He's done 23 laps on those medium tyres, but Pirelli did not recommend a one-stop. Pirelli recommended a two-stop strategy. So I don't know why McLaren are trying, but you lose 20 seconds in the pit stop, so you might as well try and do one less pit stop and gain 20 seconds of free time, basically. But Lando Norris is going to have to do a lot of time management. He's just lost the position to Lance Stroll, in fact, going down into turn number 5. Stroll just squeezes past him and then maintains his advantage. And Lando Norris is going to have a very tough time, and all he needs to do really is manage those tyres, because I think he's going for a one-stop race, and maybe that will work out for him. It's just a different strategy, and considering McLaren are so far down the field, they've just got to throw anything and everything that they have to try and get some points this weekend round. All right. So here's my favourite driver. My favourite driver is Seb Vettel, but unfortunately he's not at this race because he's tested positive for COVID. We've hit 23.1 subscribers. Wow. I started off this weekend at 21 and now we're at 22. Absolutely insane. Everyone that's tuning in, thank you so much. I really do appreciate all of the support. And yeah. All right. So let's see. Kind of disappointed that McLaren and how they did last season. Yeah, McLaren were on a very much upward trajectory. If you looked at it, 2018 was a horrible season, but 2019 they got up into the midfield towards the top, and then in 2020 they confirmed their place right at the top of the midfield, and then 2021 finished in 4th, right behind Ferrari. So I think McLaren were very much on upward trajectory, but maybe they were investing too many resources into the 2021 car compared to the 2022 car, and maybe that's what's cost them. Who knows, really? Maybe it's Mercedes power unit, because Mercedes is doing pretty badly, but then we also see Aston Martin and McLaren, also Aston Martin, McLaren and Williams all doing pretty badly as well. So actually the bottom 6 places of the field are all occupied by Mercedes powered cars. So yeah, it's not looking good for the Mercedes power unit. And Mercedes have lost their throne right at the top of the field as well. Oh, we're getting pretty close to 15k, sorry. So if you guys haven't hit the like button or subscribed, be sure to do so. Lando Norris has just been lapped. Okay, so Lando Norris is the first driver to get lapped in 2022. Did anyone expect that? I don't think, if I told you that last year, you would have told me I'm crazy. So Mercedes not doing so well, and their power unit not doing well either. Lando Norris has just pitted, coming out on the hard tyres. So as far as I can tell, Lando Norris is trying a one-stop strategy. So we'll see if that benefits him and if he can catapult his way up the field. But here we are, the second round of pit stops. In fact, we've got Fernando Alonso coming into the pits now for his second pit stop, and let's see how that goes. All right. Okay, we've got Carlos Sainz. Carlos Sainz has just come over the radio and said we should think about 3 stops. So it looks like we've got a lot of tyre wear here, and we could be getting 3 pit stops, which would be absolutely insane. The last time we had a 3 pit stop race was probably 2019 Germany, where it kept on switching from being intermediate conditions to hot conditions to intermediate, to heavy rain to light rain to dry to light rain to dry. So that was the last time we had so many pit stops. But Carlos Sainz saying maybe we should consider 3 pit stops, which is very, very odd. Fernando Alonso has just come out. He's come out onto the hard tyres, so he's got 31 laps left of this race. 30 laps left of this race to do on those hard tyres. It's going to be a bit of a stretch, but I think Fernando Alonso will be able to do it. We've just broken 15k viewers, so thank you everyone for tuning in. And if we could hit 3,000 likes, that would be also very epic. Hard tyres are the hardest tyres, yeah. But, the hard tyres, in fact, yeah, they're the C1s, sorry. I didn't understand your question. C1s, hard tyres are the C1s. So these are the most durable tyres that Pirelli have to offer. So if Carlos Sainz is considering a 3 pit stop strategy on the most durable tyres that Pirelli have to offer. I think Pirelli are going to have to make some changes to these tyres. Otherwise, we may even see like 5-6 maybe 4 pit stop races, which would be a bit odd, really. And I think it might just be a bit better to have a 2-stop race, maybe a 3-stop race at most. But here we go now. So Fernando Alonso has lost a position to Guan Yu Zhou and Yuki Tsunoda. He's lost a position to Sonoda, Bottas, and Zhou and Schumacher. I think Fernando Alonso is having a couple of issues on his hard tyres. Right, let's see what's happened there. Right, but we've got team radio from Pierre Gasly. Let's play this.
Okay, Pierre, so we have McLaren who just pitted. They did 25 laps on the medium, and it was quite a stable pace. They were a bit slow, but stable pace. And Alonso is pitting again. Alonso pitting again is struggling a lot with pace. I keep you posted on him.
Yep, so it is very much just a headache for all of these pit stop strategists. The team strategists, because they are just... They have no idea how these tyres are going to react to certain conditions. So Fernando Alonso has gone onto the hards, a very safe choice from him, and we'll see how that plays out for him. But nevertheless, it's looking pretty good. We hit 24k subs. That is absolutely insane. I mean, everyone that's tuned in, thank you so much. I mean, it's absolutely out of this world how much support I've got here. So if you guys don't mind hitting the subscribe button, be sure to do that. And if you haven't hit the like button either, do that as well. 24k though, absolutely insane. I mean, we've still got half the race left to go. We could probably hit 25k. The guys who haven't subscribed, be sure to hit that subscribe button. We could hit 25k this stream, which would be sick. That's a quarter of 100k. And 15k live as well. That is epic. All right, Hamilton has boxed. He did, how many laps did he do? He did, I think, 18 laps on those hard tyres. So Hamilton has done 18 laps on the hard tyres and is planning to do 28 laps on the medium tyres. Interesting strategy there. Very interesting tactics from the Mercedes. What happened yesterday? Oh, since we got 15,000 people watching. If you weren't watching yesterday, I was streaming. Basically, I got taken down because I played the F1 theme song, which was completely my fault. So, yeah, I'm just not going to play the F1 theme song again. But anyway, back to the race. We have now got Lewis Hamilton has just come into the pits. He's on the medium tyres, and he has got 29 laps to drive on them. Lando Norris did 25 laps on those mediums. Lewis Hamilton will probably do 29, but the pace will be pretty slow. Yeah, all right. Verstappen is saying his tyres are dead. All right, so Verstappen's done 14 laps on the softs. That's what they expected to do at the start of the race. So I think maybe they're going to be switching over to the hard tyres. We'll have to wait and see. Alonso has pitted. Right, well, Alonso pitted quite a while ago. I don't know why I said that. Lando Norris, though, is setting green sector times on his hard tyres. So by the looks of it, the hards still have some sort of pace in them. You just have to be very careful on the warm-up procedure, because if you don't warm them up properly, then it's going to be very difficult to get the correct pace out of them. We've got team radio from Fernando Alonso. Let's play this.
Okay, so I'm in so Hamilton did a 16-lap stint in the end. He just, on the hard tyres, he just stopped for new mediums. Lap times were fairly consistent doing his stint.
Yep, so Hamilton did 16 laps in on the hard tyres, and apparently they were consistent laps, but nevertheless, they weren't like rapid pace. So it's going to be pretty difficult to see what Hamilton's going to do. He's got what has he got? He's got 29 laps to do on these hard tyres. I mean, it's going to be so much of a stretch. But Hamilton is very good at time management, obviously. So we'll see if he can do it. I mean, Perez is very good at time management as well. We'll look at their lap times as they happen, really. But back to the battle of Yuki Tsunoda versus Valtteri Bottas. We have now got, let's see, what have we got? Bottas now is 4/10 behind Yuki Tsunoda, and he will be closing up on him very quickly indeed. He will have the slipstream. Let's see if he can force a mistake out of him. All right, so it's pretty sad for Norris, but you guys do have to remember Lando Norris has been lapped, but the thing is, he is he's doing a one-stop strategy. Everyone else is doing a two-stop and potentially even a three-stop, considering how crazy this race is. So Lando Norris may actually benefit, and he might gain a load of time because everyone's doing so many pit stops. Very, very interesting to see what actually happens. Nico Hulkenberg has also just been lapped, but there we go. That's how Formula 1 is. All right, so Leclerc has done 17 laps on those soft tyres. This is going to be very interesting to see if he can manage those tyres anymore, because 17 laps on the soft is no easy feat. Magnussen has done 18 laps, so both those drivers pretty much struggling. Magnussen not improving on any of his sector times, and neither is Charles Leclerc. So I'm expecting them to pit very, very soon. But what tyre do they pit on? Do they go for an aggressive three-stop strategy, or do they play it safe and go for the two-stop? We'll have to wait and see. Hamilton now, he came onto the medium tyres. He's setting green sector time, so he is setting personal bests. Good job there from Lewis Hamilton, and he's just doing a solid job, really. Let's see how he progresses through the rest of his stint, but the tyres are a very big talking point here. Schumacher right on the tail of Fernando Alonso. Did not expect to be saying that. Schumacher on the tail of Fernando Alonso takes you all the way back to 2005, but 7 tenths is the gap between the two drivers, and Schumacher will probably not be able to make an overtake because Alonso's got the fresh tyres. All right, Verstappen has just boxed. Verstappen has come into the pit lane. Let's see what tyres he comes out on, because this will be crucial to what Ferrari decide to do. He comes out on the medium tyres. 31 laps on the mediums might be a bit of a stretch there. We'll wait and see what actually happens. But yeah, Max Verstappen is going to be doing a lot of time management. But the thing is, Charles Leclerc has to pit ASAP, and Ferrari have to make that choice. Do they go into the hards or do they go into mediums? Because Verstappen will be putting a lot of pressure for that undercut. All right, so this is a crucial part of the race. This is going to decide who wins the race, basically. If Ferrari come out on the hard tyres, then what's going to happen is that Leclerc will not have any pace right out of the pits, because the hard tyres need to be warmed up properly, and that's not going to happen. So Max Verstappen is going. Leclerc have to pit now, and they have to pit onto the mediums, and they also have to time manage it all the way to the end of the race. Otherwise, Verstappen's going to win the race. So here we go. Leclerc now approaching the final corner. We'll see what Ferrari decide to do, but it's going to be very, very tricky indeed to see. Well, it's going to be a very tricky decision for Ferrari to make before. Well, yeah, for Ferrari to make. So here they go. Does Leclerc come into the pits? He does come into the pits. Verstappen, purple middle sector. He goes a second and a half quicker than Leclerc just on that sector alone. I don't think it's going to be as close as it was before, but we have to find out what tyre Leclerc comes out on. So does Leclerc come out on the hards, or does he come out on the mediums? This is the question. He comes out the pit lane now, and Leclerc is on the... Right, well, I don't know. Is it going to tell me? Leclerc's also on the mediums. All right, so by the looks of it, unless Max Verstappen can magic some pace out of nowhere, which he could, it looks like it's Leclerc who is going to win this race. I'm calling it a bit early with 26 laps left to go, but the medium tyres was the correct strategy call from Ferrari. Now all he has to do, Leclerc just has to warm those tyres up, and I think there's a little bit of a battle brewing now between Verstappen and Leclerc. Verstappen, purple first sector. He's got 1.1 second of a gap to Leclerc now. And this will probably be the battle that decide. Well, this will probably be the laps. The next couple of laps will be the laps to decide who wins this race, because it's going to be very, very close. And it looks like Leclerc has the edge over Verstappen in terms of being able to defend and maintain his position. Gap between the two drivers now 1.7 seconds. Leclerc and Perez still yet to pit. Nothing to watch out for. Perez is doing 16 laps on those medium tyres. So if Perez can manage those tyres very well, then so can lag just got worse. Is that my voice, or is that the stream? I mean, is that the voice, or is that the, what's it called? The map. All right, there's no lag. All right, some people, it might just be internet, who knows? Yeah, all right, it's fine. So back to the race. Leclerc, purple middle sector, quicker than Verstappen. So Leclerc's not having any of it. He wants to get his win in Bahrain. All right, thank you for letting me know. All right, it's a bit, some people have some lag, some people don't. It might be the YouTube servers, because my internet's pretty good. You might want to refresh the stream. So have a go at that. And yeah, all right, we're very close to hitting 3,000 likes as well. If you could smash that like button, we're like 2 likes away. So Yeah, there we go. All right, we're fine now. Okay. Cool. I think it might be the YouTube servers because I've gone on the ultra low latency mode, which basically means you get the most up-to-date version of the race possible. But I think that's why. All right, but we've just hit 3,000 likes. Very, very cool. Thanks for all the support. But now here we go. Hamilton has just overtaken Magnussen, and Magnussen on 21 lap old soft tires. So those soft tires are very much struggling there for Kevin Magnussen. And I don't know how he's doing that. Maybe that Haas car just doesn't do any tire wear. But nevertheless, it is a solid job there from Kevin Magnussen. Pierre Gasly's just come into the pits. And we now have Verstappen has got the fastest lap of the race. You also have to remember there's still the fastest lap point. You still get 1 point for getting fastest lap. And yeah, Max Verstappen, by the looks of it right now, has that fastest point lap. Well, maybe we'll see someone pit and try and get the fastest point lap. We'll have to wait and see. All right. So here we go then. Max Verstappen is closing up on Charles Leclerc, but still 2-second gap, and it's going to be very, very difficult to close it up. We'll have to wait and see. All right. So we've got Leclerc and Sainz both pitting on the same lap. So if Ferrari have a slow pit stop, Perez could get ahead. All right. We'll have to wait and see what their pit stops are like. But let's go. All right. Let's see if we get any more team radio as well. Let's just play the team radio as it's coming through. But Sainz maintains his lead over Sergio Perez, but the Red Bull pit crew, as we know, they're very, very quick. So maybe Perez has gained some time on him. All right, we've got some team radio from Alex Albon. He's down in 16th place. Oh no, in fact, wait one sec. We've got some team radio from Max Verstappen. He's just said, okay, this is now 2 times I've taken it easy on the outlap, and I could have easily been in front. I'm never ever doing it again. Right, so basically what Red Bull's told Max Verstappen is that don't push on the outlap. We don't want to wear out these tyres too much. But Verstappen listened to him. But Verstappen saying, if I just pushed on the outlap, I could have been ahead of Leclerc. But you told me not to push. So Verstappen is very much not happy with his team and is now set fastest lap of the race again. And he will be trying to close up on Leclerc, but it's going to be so difficult. All right. So let's see. We've got team radio from from Alex Albon. He's in 16th place, very much just driving around at the back of the field. Let's see what he has to say.
Pace is good.
Right, so Alex Albon's pace is good. Nice update there. We got some team radio from Max Verstappen. Let's see.
Okay, strat 8 and white line on the exit.
Okay, well, that just cut out, but very weird. But yeah, they're just make sure you don't cut the white line on the exit of the pit lane. Otherwise, you're going to, well, very much lose your, where you might get a 5-second time penalty or something. So, but point being, Leclerc and Verstappen.
You have to bring these tyres in gently this stint, please, Max. I expected Leclerc to pick.
That is very weird. I don't know why the team radio just randomly started playing. But basically, that's what Christian Horner said. He said you have to bring the tyres slowly into the stint, otherwise you're going to destroy them. And that's exactly what he did, but he lost the position. So, very, very interesting there. Max Verstappen, at the end of this race, he won't be happy on the team radio. I can just hear it. He's just going to be like, I told you guys that we needed to push on the outlap, and you didn't listen to me. And then, yeah, he won't be happy. So, there we go. All right, well, guys, it's not me that lagging because my internet's totally fine. It's the YouTube servers, so I'm sorry about that. And yeah, all right. But back to the race. We have got now. Yeah, guys, if the stream is lagging, then just refresh the website. That probably should fix it. All right. So back to the race though. We have got now. What have we got? Oh, we've got Magnussen has finally pitted after doing a 21 lap stint on the soft tires. He's finally pitted, comes out on the mediums. So everyone has done. Well, who's not pitted yet? Okay, so Russell has just pitted. He came out on the mediums. All right. Okay, there isn't lag. Okay, that's good. So. Back to the race. The 4 drivers that have been lapped are Lando Norris, Nico Hulkenberg, Daniel Ricciardo, and Nicolas Latifi. That is not very good for those teams. That's not good for Williams, not good for Aston Martin, and definitely not good for McLaren. All right. So here we go now. Guys, can we stop spamming the chat of lag? Like, if you get lag, then I can't do anything about it. My internet is fine, so, yeah. Sorry about that. I can only apologize. But back to the race, we have now got Valtteri Bottas, who is just ahead of Kevin Magnussen. So now, as you can see, well, guys, I think if you put it on a lower quality, then maybe that'll fix it. I'm not exactly sure. So, yeah. I mean, there's loads of people spamming in the chat. So, oh, YouTube. Okay, right. So that now it's saying there's lag. Right. Let's see. All right. I've done what I can to fix my internet. So I guess you'll just have to bear with it, guys. If you put the quality to a lower quality, then that'll probably fix it. But I do apologize for the lag. So there we go. All right. So back to the race. We have got Mick Schumacher that has just pitted. And all right. I'm kind of a bit flustered because this lag thing is rather annoying. Right. So back to the race. We're 37 laps into this race, 2/3 of the way through the first race of the season. We have Leclerc holding a 2-second lead over Max Verstappen, and Carlos Sainz and Sergio Perez 15 seconds behind them. So there is Leclerc and Verstappen, who are right at the top of the field in a league of their own, basically. Then we got the two drivers, Sainz and Perez, competing for the third step of the podium. And then we have got Lewis Hamilton and George Russell in 5th and 6th. Magnussen has just got past. Bottas has just come into the pit. Sorry, we've got Guan Yu Zhou and Valtteri Bottas still yet to pit for their second pit stop, and the other drivers yet to pit are Lance Stroll, Nico Hulkenberg. Yeah, Guan Yu Zhou, Lance Stroll and Nico Hulkenberg, the two drivers left to pit for their final pit stop. We've got Lando Norris doing a one-stop strategy. We'll see if that pays off for him, but I don't think it will. He's still not going to score any points by the looks of it. And yeah, all right. Okay, back to the race. So I'm going to get a drink of water. Guys, remember to stay hydrated and remember to also hit the like button and subscribe. All right, so we have got now who's left to pit. Okay. So Kevin Magnussen doing a solid job up in 7th place. I mean, he's basically just been sat there all race, not really making any overtakes, just putting in solid, consistent lap after lap. And in fact, he did a 21-lap stint on the soft tyres as well. So nevertheless, Kevin Magnussen, first race back in Formula 1 after 18 months and has still gone and just done an absolutely amazing job. So solid job there from Kevin Magnussen, and Mick Schumacher is really going to have to pick up the pace and get somewhere close to Kevin Magnussen because, that Haas team is, well, I mean, Mick Schumacher obviously is Michael Schumacher's son, but nevertheless, if he is not quick in Formula 1, he doesn't really deserve the seat. So there we go. All right. We have now got... Oh, we still haven't got a DNF, though. We're 2/3 the way through this race, and no one has DNF'd. Very, very interesting indeed. And we have got Guan Yu Zhou coming into the pits. DCS Beamer, thank you for the donation. Glad to see you back. The strike of yesterday was absolute nonsense. Yeah, it was my fault. I did play the F1 theme song, but I don't know why they've copyrighted it. I guess it is their own song, but yeah, I got taken down for playing the F1 theme song, so it is what it is. But thank you for the donation. And I thank you for the donation yesterday as well. I very much do appreciate it. Also, guys, I haven't plugged it, but my Instagram and Twitter and Discord is in the description. So if you do want to go check that out, go ahead and check that out. And there's also F1 merch in the description as well, which has got like discounted F1 merch. So go ahead and check that out for all of the drivers and all the teams. But back to the race, we've got 19 laps remaining of this Grand Prix. We've got Guan Yu Zhou right on the tail of Lance Stroll. Stroll's on 19-lap-old soft tyres. He's done a good job managing those tyres, but he's not been very high up the field. YouTube, it is automated, but it just heard the F1 song, so it took me down. Nevertheless, it's all right. Today's stream's going pretty well. So there we are. Right. We have now got Charles Leclerc 3 seconds ahead of Max Verstappen. So still doing a solid job is Charles Leclerc, just putting in those consistent laps. We'll see if I can get some team radio coming through. Bottas has just made the overtake on Guan Yu Zhou. Well, Zhou's actually just pitted, so that's why. But Bottas doing a good job. Even though he had a horrible race start, lost 8 positions on the race start. So Bottas has done a very good recovery drive back up the field. And let's see how that goes. All right, we've got... Right, so we've got some more team radio coming through, but Stroll, the final driver, yet to pit. So everyone has completed their 2 stops, other than Lando Norris, who's doing a 1-stop strategy, and it's really not paying off for him. He's going to finish up probably in 15th place or so, which is not ideal, but nevertheless, it's the best that McLaren could have hoped for. All right. So it is bad luck for George Russell. I mean, he's 15 seconds behind Lewis Hamilton. I don't think that's any fault of his own. Well, obviously, he hasn't had many incidents, but he's just driving slower and slower. And well, he's had slower tyres, maybe, I'm not exactly sure. But his race pace hasn't really kept up with Lewis Hamilton, which is fair enough. Oat Jenna, thank you for the donation. Really much do appreciate it. £5 donation. Thank you so much. Yeah. Yeah, there we go. I don't know what I was going to say. Back to the race, though. Sonoda is right on the tail of Fernando Alonso. Fernando Alonso has done a pretty good job on those hard tyres. He's done 13 laps on those hard tyres, managing them pretty well, and putting in pretty consistent lap times. But Sonoda on the quicker soft tyres has just made the overtake stick on Fernando Alonso going down into turn number 1. Fernando Alonso will fight it back by the looks of it. He does have the DRS and the slipstream in his favour. Let's see now, going into turn number 4, they will be side by side. Fernando Alonso has got the slipstream side by side now, but no, he cannot get past. Sonoda cements his place in 10th. And he will be scoring 1 point as far as, well, if nothing else changes, with 17 laps left to go of this race. All right. So let's see, what is there to talk about? We've got Sergio Perez still holding fastest lap of the race. Sergio Perez has pitted onto the soft tyres. He's gone for the traditional Pirelli strategy of soft, medium, soft. That's what Pirelli recommended, and that's what Pirelli thought was the fastest strategy. And this is actually interesting now. Sergio Perez is on the soft tyres, Carlos Sainz is on the mediums, and the gap between the two drivers, 2.3 seconds. So there's a pretty good chance that Sergio Perez could make the overtake on Carlos Sainz and probably gain a couple of positions, well, get onto the podium basically, and get some points for Red Bull. Jeez. Also, guys, since there's 15,000 of you watching, if you haven't, what was I going to say? Would you like to do a Formula 1 fantasy league? Some of you guys may already have a team. Let me know. But would you guys be interested in having a Formula 1 fantasy league? We'll see if that's a thing that you guys want to do. Also, thank you everyone that is subscribing. I really haven't kept track of how many people are subscribing, but everyone that has, very much do appreciate it. And we're getting very, very close to 25k subs, actually. So if you guys haven't subscribed yet, then be sure to do so. Everyone, yes, all right. Well, I will probably set one up for next week then, an F1 Fantasy League. That'll be very, very nice to see. Back to the race, though, there really isn't much action on track right now. There is the closest gap, in fact, on track is Fernando Alonso and Valtteri Bottas are 2 seconds apart from each other, and all of the other gaps are a lot bigger than that. So this Formula 1, the racing is actually better. From what I can tell, the drivers can get a lot closer. But the thing is now, everyone's pace is so spread out that they're not going to get close to each other anyway, which is very, very interesting. Now we've got a new problem that all of the pace of the cars is too far apart, which considering it's the first first season of this regulations, which is pretty good. Unlike in 2014 where Mercedes was so much quicker than every other car and they just waltzed off into the distance. This is looking pretty good and pretty close, in fact. We've now got Valtteri Bottas in 12th place. He's closing up on Fernando Alonso, and Bottas is on the softer medium tyres, and Alonso's on the hard. Alonso's tyres are also 15 laps old, whereas Bottas's are 4 laps old. Bottas now going down the start-finish straight. He has got the slipstream, the DRS. He tucks right into it, and he pulls out to the right-hand side, overtakes Fernando Alonso, but going into turn 1, will Fernando Alonso fight back? Because this is for position now. If he can overtake Valtteri Bottas, then that will help him. So is Fernando Alonso going to fight it back? He gets the undercut and goes for the switchback maneuver, slipstreaming up into turn 4. He's got the slipstream, he's got the DRS, but he does not make the overtake stick on Valtteri Bottas. So unfortunately there for Fernando Alonso, losing another position. Valtteri Bottas gaining 1, and his next target is Yuki Sonoda with 2.2 seconds up the road. So a solid job there from Valtteri Bottas. Very good recovery drive, really, from his horrible race start. I don't know exactly what happened there, but he lost 8 positions on the first lap, so solid job from Valtteri Bottas getting all the way back up there. How is Zhou in 13th place right now? Well, I think what he's just been doing, Valtteri Bottas fell all the way back to I think it was 15th, 14th or so place, and then Guan Yu Zhou got up into 15th, and both of the drivers have basically stuck together for the entire race. Both Alfa Romeos are working as a team, basically. How Bottas makes the overtake on another driver, Zhou just follows him through, learns from experience, and that's how he's kept up and stayed in 13th place, which is very good for a first race in Formula 1. Bottas would probably be a bit higher up. He'd actually probably be next to Magnussen, if we're being honest. We'd probably see a pretty good battle between Bottas and Magnussen. But unfortunately, he had a bad race start. We are now 15 laps left to go of this race, with Charles Leclerc holding his advantage now against Max Verstappen are about 5 seconds. So there we go. All right. Oh, we're nearly at 3,500 likes. If you guys haven't hit the subscribe button or the like button, be sure to do so. And we're getting dangerously close to now 25k. Let's see how far away we are. Yeah, only 300 subscribers away. So that would be very, very cool. You could be the first quarter of 100,000, which is like a quarter of a way to a silver play button, which is pretty epic. Nevertheless, back to the racing. Verstappen has come in for another pit stop, but very, very interesting here. Okay, so you lose 20 seconds coming into the pit lane. So if Verstappen has come into the pit lane now, that means that he will be 2 seconds behind Carlos Sainz, and he will have 14 laps to overtake Carlos Sainz. Now, this is interesting. Now, I think they've done this to try and get the fastest lap point, but I don't see what is the point, because I don't see what is the point for getting fastest lap point. Haha, absolutely hilarious. And Sergio Perez has also pitted. Both Red Bulls have gone for a 3-stop strategy. Very, very peculiar. I mean, I don't know exactly why they've done that. But Perez is now on on his 3rd set of soft tyres, and so is Max Verstappen. And they've just thrown away so many positions. That is interesting. Now, 14 laps left of this race, and I don't know what they're expecting. Are they expecting everyone else to have to pit as well? Very, very strange job there from Red Bull. Maybe the strategists know something that we don't know, but as far as I can tell, Lando Norris did 25 laps on the medium tyres, and that was on a full fuel load. And Charles Leclerc has to do 26 laps on mediums, but those are on a low fuel load. So in the real world, as far as I can tell, the Ferrari should be able to make it to the end, unless Red Bull know that they're going to get a puncture or their tyres are going to fall off a cliff, which is very, very interesting. But I'll see. I can't tell. I mean, I'll check the team radio what Red Bull are saying and why they've decided to just pit and just lose so many positions. But maybe they had an issue, maybe what? So Ferrari have just said to Leclerc that we have less degradation than Verstappen. So it looks like that... Sainz has also come into the pits. This is interesting. I don't know why Sainz has come into the pits. I think maybe Sainz can't get to the end of the race. Who knows? But Verstappen, purple third sector. Perez has also set a purple third sector. So these guys are pushing very, very hard. Hamilton also comes into pits. We're getting a 3 pit stop strategy. Very, very weird. I mean, is Leclerc going to try and stick it out right to the end of the race? He has a 26-second advantage over Max Verstappen. But Verstappen is closing that gap, and rapidly. In the first sector alone, he gained 1 second. So Leclerc is going to either have to pit very, very soon or pick up the pace and try and not get overtaken by Max Verstappen. So this is a race to the finish now. 13 laps left of this race, and Verstappen has to close a 26-second gap. So that's 2 seconds per lap. Verstappen has the fresh softs though, and Leclerc is on the used mediums. So we'll wait and see what will happen for the lead of this race. This is very, very, very interesting. All right, so here we go. Where is Verstappen now? He'll be coming through the second sector. Let's see what his second sector time is. If it's significantly quicker than Leclerc's, then I'm expecting, yeah, he's half a second quicker than Leclerc in the middle sector. So that's exactly what he needs. He needs 2 seconds a lap, and he's done exactly that for the first 2 sectors. Now we'll see if he can continue that for the rest of this race. It's going to be a very, very tall order to try and gain 2 seconds out of Leclerc's lap time every single lap for 13 laps now, for 12 laps, sorry. Yeah, very, very odd strategy call from Red Bull, but I guess they had nothing to lose because it's back how it was before. Oh, we've got a virtual safety car. Oh, Leclerc is going to benefit so much out of this. Virtual safety car. So Leclerc, will he come into the pits or has he just missed the pit lane? Leclerc is halfway through the track. We've got a virtual safety car. I don't know exactly why, but I'll see why we've got a virtual safety car, and I'll let you guys know. We've got a full safety car. Ooh, all right. So full safety car with 10 laps left to go of this race. All right, I cannot wait. Safety car is out. All right, let's go. Absolutely unbelievable. Russell has also come into pit lane. Let's see who is boxing. So we have got Daniel Ricciardo's coming into pits. This is just going to be a straight fight now for 12 laps. I mean, I don't know how long the safety car is going to stay out for. I don't know why we have a safety car. Oh, look, we've got a little dot for the safety car as well. That's pretty nice. But I think that's why map 1's a bit better. But nevertheless, I'll try and find out why we've got a safety car. Is there just debris on the track or what? We've also got some team radio from Max Verstappen. Let's play this.
Almost got here.
Let me know if you need to box, Max.
Okay, so Max needs to box because we saw him box. All right, it is a full safety car. We can see the safety car out on track there. But somebody's binned it. Is it Pierre Gasly? All right, thanks for letting me know, guys. Pierre Gasly has binned it, apparently. He is out of this race. So there we go. We were expecting no DNFs. We were only 10 laps away from no DNFs. But Pierre Gasly has binned it. Charles Leclerc has just come into pits. That's why it says pit/57 laps. It's meant to say how many laps Charles Leclerc has done. But he's just currently in the pit lane. And now we've got a sprint to the finish. We've got a 10-lap sprint to the finish line. We'll see how long it takes up to clear Pierre Gasly's crash. But this is not a rip. This is how close we're going to get to the end. Well, we're going to get a sprint race to the finish, basically. So this is very, very exciting indeed. Right. Let's find out how long it's going to take for Pierre Gasly's crash to get cleared up. Pierre Gasly's car is on fire. At the exit of turn 3, he's got flames pouring out the car. All right, so actually, if I can get an image up, I'll just show you guys. I haven't got an image just yet, but yeah, we got flames coming out of Pierre Gasly's car, and that is why we have got a full safety car, but at the exit of turn number 3. So by the looks of it, there is an escape road near the exit, turn number 3. So there is a chance that we can get all of the Pierre Gasly's car out very, very quickly indeed, and they can have a couple of laps of racing right at the end. Charles Leclerc is still in this race, and so is Max Verstappen, but this makes it all the more exciting. All right, we've nearly broken my record. We're at 16.7k. The record was 18.4k viewers. So if you guys haven't subscribed or if you guys haven't liked, please be sure to do so. Very much does help out the channel. All right, I'm trying to get some images up, and then we shall be racing. Well, be under safety car conditions and then racing. But All right. So this is it now. Charles Leclerc is behind the safety car. Max Verstappen is also catching up. All the cars are getting unlapped as well, as far as I can tell. So Leclerc's right behind the safety car, ahead of Verstappen, and we're going to be getting some fine laps of racing right at the end of this Grand Prix. We've got some team radio from Max Verstappen. Let's see what he has to say. Whoops, I've just clicked off it. Right. Well, it takes a while to load, so here we go. Team radio from Max Verstappen. Is it going to play? It's still not playing. Right, cool. Hopefully I can get it to load by the time we've got the virtual safety car. The safety car goes in, but just lead the whole race and win. What is Haas doing? Let's see. Well, actually, Haas is all right. Everyone's on the soft tyres, except for Schumacher's on the soft tyres, but his soft tyres are 13 laps old, which is not great. So maybe that wasn't the right call. Maybe they should have pit Schumacher, but I don't think they can do much about that now. We've got some team radio from Max Verstappen.
Just keep checking what it can be. If something is stuck or whatever.
Yeah, copy.
So Max Verstappen, it looks like he's got a bit of an issue somewhere in his car. His steering wheel is a bit heavy. So by the looks of it, that could be a hydraulic issue, but it's unlikely because they would have detected that by now. So it could... the other thing is that something is like touching the steering wheel while he's trying to turn it. That's making it heavy. So we'll have to see what happens there. We're getting dangerously close to beating my record. Also, if we could hit 4,000 likes, that would be insane. Yeah, if we could hit 4,000 likes, that'd be crazy. We're 300 likes away, so there's that. And let's see if we've hit 25k subs. We have we? Oh, we're like 100 subscribers away. Well, with 300 likes and 100 subscribers, so if you guys could hit that target, that would be lovely. All right, so under the safety car conditions, I'm just going to read out how many laps old everyone's tyres is. Actually, Alex Albon is the only driver out on the medium tyres. In fact, he's just come out of the pits on the softs, so ignore that. Every single driver is out on the soft tyres. Charles Leclerc has 4-lap old soft tyres. Max Verstappen has 7-lap old soft tyres. So Verstappen has the disadvantage, but I mean, it's a race start, and all of these drivers are going to be so close, so close to each other. DRS won't be enabled for 2 laps, but nevertheless, I mean, Verstappen, if there's a gap, Verstappen will go for it because he is a racing driver. If you know that reference, then I mean, I'm pretty sure most drivers know this reference, but nevertheless, 17k watching, that is insane. Everyone that's tuned in, thank you so much. All right, why didn't Mick pit? Maybe it's because Haas don't have a fresh set of softs, but they probably should because they didn't get through into Q3 with Mick Schumacher. So I think they didn't pit Mick Schumacher because they just it was at the wrong time or something, and then they can't pit him now because if he pits now, then he comes out right in dead last. So and Mick Schumacher's intense, so all he's got to do is just defend against Yuki, Sonoda, Fernando Alonso, and Guan Yu Zhou, which is a pretty tall order considering you're on old soft tyres, but you know, who knows what will happen. All right, so we're going around safety car once again. Gasly is okay. He came out of the car and put out the fire, but his car was on fire. The Honda engine, which was one of the more powerful engines of the what's it called? Of the grid, is now on fire. So they'll have to do an investigation on that, and we'll see how that goes. But yeah. All right, so that's that. All right, we're on 49 out of 57 laps. We have 8 laps remaining of racing. We're still under virtual safety car full safety car conditions, sorry. And all of the drivers are now just bunching up to the full safety car. I don't know why I keep saying virtual safety car. 8 laps of racing, and we are. This can be pretty good, pretty intense 8 laps of racing. Bahrain, lots of straights, lots of opportunities to slipstream and get some positions. So Leclerc it's going to be a very nail-biting final couple of laps of this race, for sure. All right, I'll try and just get an image of what's going on with Pierre Gasly's car. Let's see, there we go. Whoops. There. That's Pierre Gasly's car. They're just putting it out with the fire marshal. So that's that. Pierre Gasly's car will be getting recovered, very, very soon. Also, guys, while we're in the safety car conditions, I'm just going to plug all the stuff that's in my description. There's my Instagram, the Twitter, and my Discord server link. I post memes on Twitter and Instagram. I post random stuff on Twitter, memes on Instagram, and then stuff in the Discord as well. And I occasionally hop on as well if there's a couple of you guys talking in there. And then there's also a link to F1 merch. And that merch, well, there's a bunch of stuff on discount. We've hit 25k subs. Absolutely epic. Thank you for all the support, guys. We've got 9 laps left of racing, and that's all my plugs done, except for one, actually, which I'll do right at the end of the stream, because it's pretty important. You've got to do it right at the end. Pierre Gasly is completely fine. He is, well, his car was just on fire. The lap cars are going through now. And then we will actually get some proper racing done. I think this might be the final lap of the safety car. We'll just have to check. But there we go. Final lap. The lapped cars are through. And there we go. All right. So this is it. 7 laps of racing left in this Grand Prix, and we will be having a very nice battle indeed between Max Verstappen and Charles Leclerc, and a lot more further down the field as well. Lapped cars have been let through. Maybe they'll catch up. Maybe they won't. I'm not sure exactly when the safety car gets called in, because I'm not an expert on the rules. But there we go. Who do I think will win? I think Leclerc will still maintain the advantage, because Leclerc's been defending like an absolute beast today. I mean, his defensive maneuvers for defending against Verstappen have just been out this world. So I think he's still going to maintain the advantage over Max Verstappen. We'll wait and see how that goes. Virtual safety car, the full safety car, is flashing. I don't know if that means it's coming in this lap. Oh, we're very, very close to 18.4k, which is my record. So if you guys haven't smashed the like button already or subscribed, be sure to do so. Right, back to the race now. So we have got, let's see. We've got all the drivers now bunched up except for Stroll, Albon, Ricciardo, Norris, Latifi, and Hulkenberg. Those guys are coming up at the back of the field. And we'll see what they can do there. All right, so this is it. Is the safety car coming in? I can't exactly tell. Safety car is in this lap. I can confirm. Safety car in this lap. All right, so this is it. We have got 8 laps of racing left to do, and I cannot wait for this to begin now. So safety car just pulls out the final corner. Charles Leclerc is backing everyone up. 2/10 is the gap between Leclerc and Verstappen, in fact, and Leclerc will decide when to go and when to hit that accelerator pedal so Verstappen can get the least amount of slipstream possible. We are going green flag racing again. Safety car is in, and Leclerc is going maximum attack. All right, so gap between Verstappen and Leclerc is now... Oh, Sainz is right on the back of Verstappen, side by side. Verstappen got caught out right at the start there. Sainz now side by side with Verstappen, going into turn number 1. This is it. Who comes out ahead? Does Verstappen? Verstappen defends successfully against Carlos Sainz. Solid job there from Max Verstappen. But now that's put him on the back foot. He won't be able to attack Charles Leclerc. That's going to be a bit of an issue there for Max Verstappen. So Leclerc nearly got a 1 second advantage there, so it's good job there from Max Verstappen. Leclerc could also take fastest lap of the race as well away from him, which will really suck for the Red Bull team. Sonoda's made the overtake on Mick Schumacher, and Schumacher, he had 17 lap old soft tyres, and Sonoda had 9 lap old, so it was pretty clear who was going to come out on top there, but nevertheless, solid overtake from Yuki Sonoda. All right, 7 laps remain of this race. Sainz is right on the back of Verstappen again. So after the safety car, it looks like Sainz has picked up some pace and is right on the tail of Verstappen. Hamilton is in 5th, not being able to close up on Perez, and we've just got a bit of a train forming behind Verstappen. We've got Verstappen, Sainz, Perez, Hamilton, Russell, Magnussen, Bottas, Ocon, Sonoda, all in one massive train. Choo-choo. Nevertheless, Charles Leclerc pulling away 2 purple sectors, and Verstappen nowhere near him. So Perez has really got the pace. Oh no, sorry, not Perez. Leclerc has really got the pace, and Verstappen cannot keep up. But now DRS will be getting enabled on the next lap, and this train is going to turn into a DRS train, and we will be getting a lot of overtakes, and maybe a couple of double overtakes as well. Fernando Alonso makes the overtake on Mick Schumacher, because because Mick Schumacher's tyres are once again old now. He's also lost a position to Guan Yu Zhou, so Mick Schumacher losing out big time because of his tyres. So very unfortunate there. Haas didn't make the correct call, but there we go. All right. So here we are now. Leclerc with the fastest lap of the race. So if it stays like this, he will get 26 points in the championship, which will be a very nice start to the season for him. Actually, the perfect possible start for the season for him. Carlos Sainz is in third place, just behind Max Verstappen. And he is 8 tenths behind him, so still within DRS range. DRS is yet to be activated. We've got one more lap until DRS is activated, and then we'll get a lot of racing, a lot of side-by-side action as well. So here we go now, just the final sector, and then DRS will be enabled. All right. Yeah, Game of Fabster King, thank you for all of the support in the chat. I mean, I really do appreciate it. We've also just broken my record. We've got 18.6k viewers. So everyone that's tuned in, you've part of breaking this record. We broke the record. Woohoo, let's go. And this is it now. 6 laps remain of this race. If you guys haven't hit the like button or subscribe, be sure to do so. But this is it. Leclerc versus Verstappen versus Sainz for the final step of the podium. All right. DRS has been enabled. Carlos Sainz is within DRS range. He has got the DRS. He is slipstreaming Max Verstappen as much as he possibly can. But it's going to be so tough for him to make an overtake stick because Verstappen, so aggressive, as we know, he's not going to give up this position easily, especially because he is defending his world championship right now. So he's going to put everything on the line here. Leclerc has got this. He's doing a very solid job, just putting in consistent lap times, consistent sector times, and he is doing a very nice job. All right, so we have now got DRS has been enabled, and the only driver within DRS range is Lewis Hamilton on Sergio Perez. So it looks pretty difficult for Lewis Hamilton now to maybe get up into the podium positions. But what was I going to say? I actually forgot what I was going to say. Never mind. But Lando Norris and Daniel Ricciardo down in 16th and 17th place. That is not ideal for the McLaren crew. They are just their car is basically nowhere this year. We'll have to wait and see if they can fix their brake issues and maybe progress a bit higher up the field. But they're really unfortunate, and maybe it's just a Mercedes power unit. Who really knows? I mean, the last 6 drivers still are the Mercedes power unit gang. So maybe it's a Mercedes power unit. Who knows? But nevertheless, we have now got Carlos Sainz on the tail of Max Verstappen. This time he's got the DRS. I think he used a bit of battery to close up on Max Verstappen. And he is, once again, right on his tail. DRS has been enabled. He's 5 tenths now behind him. So if he gets a good exit out of this first corner, then he can really catch up to Max Verstappen on the start-finish, onto turn number 4, sorry. He's 6 tenths behind him, 3 tenths. So this is it now. Does he make the overtake stick? No, he's not. He's too far back to dive down the inside just yet. But nevertheless, a solid job there from Carlos Sainz. He's got 4 laps left of this race to try and make an overtake stick. We'll wait and see what happens. All right, so this is it. Valtteri Bottas now closing up on Kevin Magnussen. So this is where Valtteri Bottas should have been. We were predicting a Bottas-Magnussen battle, but now... But Bottas had a horrible race start, but now he's progressed his way back up to the field, and we've got Bottas versus Magnussen. 6 tenths is the gap between the 2 drivers, and Verstappen's lost the position to Sainz. I didn't even notice. They were on the back straight. Look, Sainz won overtake. I mean, looking at the replay now, Sainz has just went down the inside, and Verstappen's just taken it. So this will be very interesting to see if Verstappen will be slipstreaming him back. And now, because of this little battle that they've had, Sainz, it's a Ferrari 1-2, Red Bull 3-4, Mercedes 5-6. Very weird. Almost back to like 2018 days. But Verstappen's lost another position. It looks like he's got damage. He's down into 5th place, into 6th place. Verstappen has got damage. So, no, he's back up into 4th. This is very weird. I don't know if the data's glitching, or Verstappen's got damage. But I think Verstappen's got damage. Yeah, Verstappen's got damage. He's down into 10th place now. So here we go. It's a Ferrari 1-2 with Perez in 3rd place with 2 laps left to go of this race. And this is it now. So Verstappen is down into 13th. He's pitted. It looks like he got a damaged front wing or something. I'm not sure what it is, but he is into the pits, and he's either retiring or just not coming out. Oh, look, all right, he's moving again in the pit lane, so he's coming back out. But yeah, horrible scenes. I mean, how has that happened? Let's see. I'll try and get an image up of what happened, but I don't think that's gonna. Don't think we'll find that anytime soon. All right, so back to the race. 2 laps remaining, and we've got a Ferrari 1-2. Absolutely insane. This is the Ferrari master plan. As everyone's been saying in all of the memes, Ferrari 1-2. I mean, I don't actually remember the last time they had a Ferrari 1-2. It must have been so long ago. Absolutely insane, but the whole of Italy will be very, very happy. And definitely all the Ferrari fans around the world. We've got Hamilton now, who's right on the tail of Sergio Perez. And 6/10 of a gap between Perez and Hamilton. Perez has a very good ability to defend against to defend against Lewis Hamilton. We already know that. So it's just a question of if he can do it now with 2 laps left of this race. In fact, actually the final lap of this race now, I think. They'll be coming through. Oh no, this isn't the final lap of the race. Second to last lap of the race, sorry. Perez and Hamilton will be having a battle now. So Hamilton is slipstreaming Perez as much as he can. He got close in the first corner, decided not to go for the overtake. He'll be slipstreaming down Perez all the way to turn number 4. Let's see if he can make the overtake stick. No, he can't. He's too far back, but he's got one more attempt left on the final lap of the race. And that's when, well, a lot of things have happened on the final lap of the race. So let's see if Hamilton can make the overtake stick here. Any more battles further down the field? We have got... No, it looks like Verstappen has just retired the car as far as I can tell. Very, very unfortunate for him. I'll try and find out what's happened there. But yeah, he's pitting to retire the car. Oh, it's Verstappen's battery or something? I'm not exactly sure. Yeah, very weird. But Verstappen had some sort of issue, and that's why he's retired the car. We've got Leclerc and Sainz leading the race. Perez still defending against Hamilton, now coming on to the final lap of the race here. Verstappen very, very unlucky indeed. Also, guys, if you haven't hit the like button or subscribed, be sure to do so. It really does help out the channel. Yeah, thank you so much for all the support for this entire race. We're just coming on to the final lap now. Perez versus Hamilton for the final step of the podium behind the 2 Ferraris. Very, very... I did not expect to be saying that. I expected to be maybe Verstappen versus Hamilton for the final step of the podium. But this is going very, very smoothly for Leclerc. And it's going very smooth for the smooth operator as well, who's in second place to secure the Ferrari 1-2. We've got a yellow flag out on track. And Perez has lost 2 positions. Perez lost 3. Both Red Bulls. Are we going to get a double DNF for Red Bull? Okay. We've got a yellow flag on the track. Let's just change that. There we go. Wait, I didn't even change it. There we go. Yellow flag on track, and it's Perez has lost a lot of positions. He's stopped at the end of turn number 1. So it looks like we're just going to be going for a virtual safety car finish. I'm not exactly sure. He's just parked up at the end of turn number 1. So F, can we... Oh, actually not an F in the chat because everyone just spams, but a major rip for Red Bull. In the last 3 laps of the race, they lose 2 drivers. We're on the final lap of the race, though. Charles Leclerc done an absolutely mega job all race round, all 57 laps, managing those tyres, the car, and doing amazing defensive maneuvers from Max Verstappen. And he's just been defending and putting up solid laps again and again and again. And as he should have got his win in 2019 after his first pole position, Leclerc is back in Bahrain, got the pole, and he's got the race win. What a drive from Charles Leclerc. That is it. The race is over. Charles Leclerc is the winner. Carlos Sainz comes home in second place for P2. And then we have Lewis Hamilton in 3rd, George Russell in 4th, and Kevin Magnussen in 5th, Valtteri Bottas in 6th. Yuki Sonoda and Fernando Alonso cross the finish line 8th and 10th, and Guan Yu Zhou scores points on his Formula 1 debut. A solid job there. Got pretty lucky with Verstappen and Perez retiring, but nevertheless, Guan Yu Zhou scoring points on his Formula 1 debut, exactly like Yuki Sonoda did 1 year ago. Mick Schumacher comes across the line in 11th place, Lance Stroll in 12th, and just a solid job, solid drive and solid racing all from everyone in the grid, really. It was a very unfortunate, though, double DNF for Red Bull. I mean, absolutely insane. Did anyone really expect that? I mean, wow. Yeah. Wow. All right, so there's 17,000 people of you watching. I just want to let you know that I made this video a couple of days ago and YouTube really didn't recommend it to anyone. So I'm just asking you guys to watch this video. It's, oh, where is it? Where's it gone? Wrong one. I actually can't find, here we go. Yeah, this video here, learn the alphabet with F1. It's only got 400 views because YouTube didn't recommend it to everyone. But if you guys go and watch this video, because, I mean, I think it's pretty funny. Obviously, I made the video, but yeah, I think it's a pretty solid video. If you watch right to the end, that will basically break the YouTube algorithm as it does. So if you could watch that, that would really mean the world to me. But that has been the end of this race. Let's go back to the usual data. And I'm just going to fix everything as it was before. All right. And then we need to talk about this race, really, because what a race it has been. Oh, well, Carolee Evans has said, yeah, the video is very funny. Very funny video. Well, if you guys do like that video, then be sure to hit the thumbs up on that as well. But that is it. The race is over. I should probably get a checkered flag text box as well. But there we are. The race is finished. And there we go. Pretty crazy race, huh? I mean, I don't think anyone really expected that. But there we are. That is it. The race is over. Charles Leclerc, it takes the win. Carlos Sainz in second and Lewis Hamilton on the podium. Third place. Wow. Basically just capitalizing on both Red Bulls just dying on the final 2 laps. Very, very weird. We'll have to find out and get a bit of an investigation on what happened at the Red Bulls. But yeah, very odd. I didn't really expect that. Ferrari is back, and Ferrari power is definitely back as well. We have the final 6 drivers who finished the race. We had all of them were Mercedes-powered cars. All of them. So Mercedes not having a very good, not being very good whatsoever. And then the top 6 are 4 drivers out of the top 6 are Ferrari-powered cars, whereas the final 6 drivers are all Mercedes-powered cars. So it is actually a very Honda thing to happen, just on the final 2 laps of the race. Actually, very interesting. Reliability, we were talking about reliability. Only 1 out of 4 Honda engines finished the race. Pierre Gasly had a fire. Verstappen had some electrical issue. I'm not sure what happened to Perez, but yeah, only 3 out of 4 Honda engines got to the end of the retired from the car. Very, very odd. And it's not a good thing for Honda, but the thing is, Honda no longer runs the engine department. Red Bull bought the engine department now off Honda. But very, very go. For our, Charles Leclerc has just come over the radio. Actually, we've got some team radio as well from Carlos Sainz and Charles Leclerc. We'll play Carlos Sainz's. Right, well, I don't know why it's not playing, so... but Charles Leclerc said, let's go. That's exactly how we should start the season. 1-2, baby. Woohoo. Mamma mia. That was my best Italian accent, but nevertheless, yeah, absolutely crazy race. I mean, I don't know what happened to the Red Bulls, but we'll have to find out there. Ferrari, nice job there, though. 1-2 from them, and just a solid race victory. They really did deserve it. But Verstappen also deserved his 2nd place. I don't know what happened to his car, but a horrible ending for that, and a horrible way to start off the new era for Red Bull as well. All right, we've got I lost the engine. So I think Perez spun and then his engine stalled or something. I'm not sure what happened to Perez. And And then it looks like Verstappen's got a bit of an electrical issue. Very odd. Yeah. All right. Well, it has been an absolutely crazy stream. I think I've gained... This is the most subscribers I've ever gained in one stream. Like, full stop. We went from, I think it was 22k or something to 25.4k. So, absolutely insane. Everyone that has subscribed, thank you so much for all the support. And yeah, be sure to go check out that learn the alphabet with F1. That's just in my channel. So be sure to check that video out, because I put quite a bit of effort into thinking of all of that stuff. But then YouTube didn't recommend it to anyone for some reason. So yeah, be sure to go check that out. I'll just put a little thing up for you if you don't... Actually, I'll just get a link to the video and then just post that in the chat. But let me know what you thought of that race. What are you going to rate that race? Is it going to be a 10 out of 10? Or is it going to be... What is it going to be for you? Thank you, Kiez. I really do appreciate all the support on the moderation. Yeah, it's nearly 4 a.m. in Australia. All right. Well, everyone that's tuned in, thank you so much. I really do appreciate all the support. 10 out of 10. Yeah, 10 out of 10. I mean, it seems like we got a lot of Ferrari fans here, but horrible for Max Verstappen. And yeah, the race is over. That is it. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. I think I might keep the stream up for a bit longer. I'm not exactly sure what I'm going to do, but yeah, absolutely insane. Yeah, very much Red Bull. Wow. Fantastic race. I was upset that I couldn't watch it, but then I found you. Thank you for so much. Well, no worries, guys. I mean, all the support that you guys are showing is absolutely out of this world. So, 10 out of 10 with Red Bull losing. Wow. It was very much an intense race. Yeah, I mean, whenever you get a safety car with like less than 15 laps to go, always a crazy race. I mean, Kevin Magnussen in P5 and Valtteri Bottas in P6, both of them deserve a massive shout out. I mean, what a drive from both those drivers. And yeah, go ahead and check the alphabet video out. And if you are going to watch it, then stick right to the end, because it basically, it tells the YouTube algorithm that like the video is like the craziest video you've ever watched in your entire life. So there we go. 9 out of 10, not 10 out of 10, because McLaren's doing horribly. Yeah, I mean, I don't think anyone really expected McLaren to be this bad. Like, maybe they could be in the midfield, sure, but they're basically back markers at this point. So, yeah. Ooh, what are you going to do? What? All right. So, karma for Abu Dhabi. No Michael Massey's help you out this time. I mean, it was a Red Bull. It was the engine failure. Like, Michael Massey could have helped with an engine failure. So, that has been a pretty successful stream, I'd say, and a pretty epic first race for 2022. It really does set the precedent for what the race are going to be like in the future. So, if this has just been the first race of the season, imagine some of the other races where we get even more overtaking, like Monza and Spa. Pretty crazy, huh? Right, Bono, my pole is gone. Yeah, I mean, Bono, my quick car is gone, basically. All right. So, that has been, I think, today's stream. I think I'm going to call it a day, guys. Everyone that's tuned in, thank you so much. I appreciate all of the support. And yeah, I mean, I don't know what to say. I gained 3,000 subscribers in one stream. Yeah, Velocity, it's fine. If you hid their message, they can type in stream chat tomorrow anyway. Oh, not tomorrow, next weekend. Oh, yeah, and also, guys, I am streaming next weekend for the race in Saudi Arabia, so be sure to go check that out. I will have the stream up, and just make sure to set a reminder so you don't miss it. But yeah, I'll be streaming for qualifying and the race, and yeah, pretty epic. All right, so that has been it for today. I'm going to call it a day, fellas. If you guys are still here, then be sure to check out my video that I've pinned. But other than that, it's been a pleasure commentating to you guys. and you've been an absolutely wonderful chat. I'm also doing the fantasy. Yes, I'll probably set that up for next weekend. In fact, so I will. Yeah, I'll do that. And the F1 alphabet video is hilarious. Nice job. Well, thank you, King. That's what your name is. But yeah, everyone, go ahead and check that out. And I will see you guys in, was it 1 week time? I don't know. But yeah, have a nice day, morning, afternoon, evening, or night, depending on where you are in the world. And I will see you in 1 week's time. Cheers, fellas.